Hello, everyone, and welcome to the March monthly trial for the 2024 Americas Summit. My name is Evan, and with me today, it's Stoic. What's going on, Stoic?
What's going on, Evan? I'm pumped, dude. We've got our second monthly trial, phase 2, dare I say. It's exciting, dude. We've got 3 returning players. We've got new face. New faces is honestly like the coolest thing to see because these are new people trying to keep up with even the people that got Summoners points in the first month. So like you can't count out that month still. The month that just passed, the guys that are not here, they're technically not out because there's guys in here fighting for new Summoners points, and we could still go into month 3 and again just have like different people all over again.
Oh, yeah, that's by far my favorite part of the Americas Summit is, it's like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get in it. People can come out of the woodwork with more points and join in for the next monthly trial. We have big names that haven't been seen yet in the Americas Summit, too. Big V is here this time, too. We got True Whale back again. We got Thompson, Zazas, who took it last month as well. We have the potential to have both a whale and a rhino fighting each other. We're getting a zoo together, Stoic.
Yep, that's right. That's a really, really cool person to even bring up right now. Rhino, seeing him in here as well as he did. I felt like the summit, those weekly Wednesdays, just fit his style so well. He's able to accumulate points so fast. But here's our bracket that we're going to be getting into today.
Oh yeah, Jeff Bulladon, SEW at the top there. We got Ray to follow up with him. We got Rhino, Big V, True Whale, Thompson, Mengieta, and Zazas. This is going to be a pretty big tournament, and like last time too, we do have that bottom bracket that's going to get filled out as we go along. So we got kind of a long road ahead of us, and at the end, we're going to have the winner who's going to get the most points contributing to their monthly total. Here's the leaderboard that we've got following February's results. We got Zazas at the top with 8 points, Topa V with 7, True Whale, Lana, Thompson, Zelda, Lightning, and Crocodile, which contributes to the zoo that I was talking about, Stoic.
Yep, exactly. Now, our 3 returning players that you'll see on this right here is Zazas, True Whale, and Thompson. Those are our only 3 players returning from the very first monthly trial that we've had. So looking at Topa V at second place right now, that is still really good because if Topa makes it into the 3rd month, he's got those 7 Summoners points that he already has saved up. So like it's not over for a player like him. But like I said, it's not over for anybody else. But it is looking really good for those 3 repeat names we just said.
Oh yeah, it's looking great. And not pictured here too, we have so many other players who scored points, who worked their way up. We had Why Cause I'm a G playing, who scored, I think, the 8th place, which wasn't quite enough to qualify, but it's a testament to showing just how many new people can join in month to month and show their face at the summit.
Yep, and that right there just kind of like says it all. Like what Summit's about is getting all these new faces, maybe people who haven't, been able to be on the platform of SWC, and here they are trying to do their best in the Summit, getting that little bit of spotlight, that little bit of competitive action in there. It's so cool.
Oh yeah, and obviously this is all leading up to a big in-person finals in May. It's going to be a blast. It's going to be a 2-day event. I think everybody has a lot to look forward to with that, beyond just the spectacular games that we're going to get now. Judging based on the last monthly trial that we had, Stoic, what kind of games are you expecting us to see? What sort of team archetypes do you think people are going to bring?
Well, I'd go as far to say is the balance patch didn't change anything. So we're going to see a lot of the similar stuff that we got in the first monthly trial. Nothing's changed too much. We're seeing lots of this Dokebi Lord coming out there, and I think in that monthly trial we didn't get to see too much Dokebi Lord, but in the second or phase 2 or second month of the summit, we started to see this unit coming out here as a first pick. Players really heavily drafting the Dokebi Lord, so I think we're going to see a little bit of pivoting going to that area, but it hasn't changed too much where it's still like you could show where someone's going turn 1, someone's going turn 2, but that pivot is what's going to truly show with all these players today.
Oh yeah, starting off strong, we got Jeff Bulladon versus Ray. This is going to be a good game, dude. Salve Jeff, salve Brazil.
I can't remember if we've had Jeff Bulladon in SWC, or at least in the prelims for SWC. So I would say we're on some even ground right now with both these guys here. So it's great to see them both get showcased here, and like they're taking the floor here in the summit.
Oh yeah, it's a commonality. Most of the folks that are on the bracket today don't have a whole lot of tournament experience, so the summit is a great place to start. And we've talked at length about how that can definitely affect your play patterns in game too. When you're up against somebody who's used to taking on that players in a tournament format, that can sometimes lend itself to more experience, and maybe they could even keep their composure a little bit more. So I'm excited to see how these new players adapt to this digital stage.
Yep, exactly. You know, and we've talked about tournament experience before, like having that tournament experience. You know, being, I guess, under the gun, under the knife, whatever analogy you want to use here. But like that pressure of being like, I need to win this. I need to keep myself up and alive. You know, keep in mind we do have, you know, a loser bracket where players are going to be, you know, bumping down to. But still, like you want to win your matches. You want to get as many summoners points as possible here. So, you know, there's that pressure right there.
Yeah, because this is the thing that carries over. So hopefully they'll get lots of Summoners War points. I don't know if I have a prediction for who's going to take number one. I think it's a little early to see. Maybe we could do predictions after the quarterfinals or something like that. That could be kind of cool. Survey the chat too. Folks, here we go. We are going into the first set of the America's Summit March monthly trial. Jeff Boladão versus Ray.
Here we go. Pre-bans locking in right here. These pre-bans could be almost anything. You know, there is a world, we do say, a free-to-play Fusion Nat 5 getting pre-banned. I don't know. We'll see what happens because, you know, we were not able to watch, the Latin American side of the summit. You know, we were showcasing the North American side of the summit. So who knows? I'm not super familiar with both these players here.
Yeah, that's true. So that's something that's going to be interesting to find out as we go through these games. We're going to see what they prioritize. Looks like the answer is going to be 2 Water 24 speed leads in Chandra and Moore, otherwise known as the Water Ryu.
Yeah, both very popular 24 speed leads that a lot of people are playing with. Chandra, you know, a very, very great unit, helps you play a bruiser style, offering a 24 speed lead. And I mean, Water Ryu's been on the map for so long now as 24 speed lead, a buff remover, an excellent unit. And to no surprise, seeing a Hagang as a first pick here.
But to a little bit of surprise, seeing the Water Twin Angels picked as well. That's a pretty cool choice there.
This is also a 24 speed lead with this unit, and I believe the buff that it received, it defense breaks now. I don't know if it always defense break, but I know this is the one Twin Angel that now offers a defense break, so that's really, really nice when you have 6 skills to look at.
That's so great. I think that versatility is probably what sets the Twin Angels aside as being like something unique and
potentially broken in the future if they're not careful with how they dole out those defense breaks. But I like the way they can kind of keep your opponent on their toes. They can't really ascertain what combination of skills you're going to use at all times, and it definitely gets harder to keep track of cooldowns when you're thinking about 4 different skills that have cooldowns.
Exactly. Now, both players here have already drafted 2 24 speed leads, so both players, you know, easily trying to take turn 1 here. I do kind of like Jeff Boladão's draft here. This light cookie. Now, I've talked to Thompson plenty of times before where if you lay down a Dactylkebulord, it counters up this this light cookie, and that's not what Ray Dello is going to be drafting here. He's going full turn 1. You know, all the cards, they're on the table. He wants turn 1. We've got the Okeanos. Okeanos has been shining here. Jeff Boladão looking to respond after seeing the Chungpung Okeanos drop.
Oh man, and Ray has presented a really cool draft here, Stoic.
Lots of crowd control available between Oki and Chungpung for his setup and follow-up that we love about him too. It's interesting. We'll have to see how Jeff handles this in game. He opts to take Camilla as his last pick. I love that option. She can cleanse herself up if she accidentally gets crit upon, which is known to happen with Chungpung's AoE. So I don't know. We'll see how this plays out.
Yeah, there's a good amount of sustain for Jeff Boladão, and then the only sustain that Ray Dello had was that Wadjet. Wadjet is going to be gone here. So I kind of feel like Jeff Boladão looking to outlast his opponent, but we'll find out as we get into our very first match of the summit right here.
Here we go, and we've got content picks still, which is great. Jeff is bringing the content with these 2 units. I'd love to see it. This is the first time I've ever laid eyes on the Twin Angels UI for the Arena Master interface here. Like, this is so interesting to me. This is so crazy.
Many skills you get to look at. It really is nice to see 6 skills like that.
Oh man, just wait until there's like a triplicate angel in the future, and now we got a stack of 9 skills above it. Here comes Cigar. Can quickly reset that Chungus so he doesn't have to worry about it as much, but Hagang cuts ahead.
Yep, nice little despair stun going out on that light cookie here. Rain of Stones coming out, gonna stun everybody up. Not stunning everybody up, that water Twin Angel still alive right now. Unit of focus for Ray is gonna be that Veligil. Beautiful violent proc, taking advantage of that defense break.
Huge play from Ray. And it's so interesting to see what threat assessment, like what he considers to be the biggest threat on the table there. Veligil is known to be one of the most valuable procs in the entire game because procking out of a stun into a full team cleanse can just be so devastating. And now, all Ray has to do is take out that light cookie, and it's game over.
Yep, let's see if he's able to do that. Another additional turn coming out of Cigar, looking to get the provoke on the Hay-Gang, does receive that. Now, I can't tell if this Water Twin Angel was built on Violent or not, or was it just getting additional turns on both times it has attacked?
It's awfully convenient, but I do believe it is built on Violent, though we can double check on that, but I do believe it might be, dude, it's proccing a lot, so maybe it is a built-in turn.
Yeah. I don't know, because that's 3 additional turns. It feels built in right now, but I don't believe it is.
It's so funny to even be having this conversation, because it's really rare to be seeing these units even in RTA play. They got a little bit of attention when they were released, but they kind of fell off. So that's a cool side of the balance patch, which has generally been pretty divisive.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, well, let's see here. Are we going to get an additional turn again with the Twin Angel? Because at that point, I'm going to say it's built in.
That's. I'll join you in that. Okay, so it's probably built on Violent then.
Yeah, probably built on Violence. So just very fortunate for Jeff Baldow popping off like that with getting all those all the turns there with the Water Twin Angel. But defense break provoke sitting on top of Chung Pong. Chung Pong not looking so hot right now.
No, he's looking a little worse for wear right now. This light cookie is nothing to scoff at, because honestly, it's dealing so much additional damage, even at neutral. Because right now, it's at neutral defense with the defense buff and the defense break. It's just a crazy, scary monster, so it's about time that Ray starts focusing it down.
Definitely, Ray's got to do something about that cookie. Cookie will be a problem unit, but I think Jeff's able to keep it alive. Is there? Oh, that's a really nice proc, though. There is no, is that, I think, a third skill for sustain? I'd have to take a look at this cookie and see what it actually has in store here. Very sad to say that I don't know this cookie too well. Not cookie, the Twin Angels too well. It does
additional damage based on the difference in its defense to the target, and then it also does have the immunity on skill 2 that Manon has. So it's definitely a force to be reckoned with, and right now that is probably the game, but you don't usually scoop in a tournament setting early if there's a chance for something to take advantage. Maybe Jeff thinks that the Twin Angels are enough to dismount and take down this Masha.
I mean, I think the Twin Angels can do it. I think that he might. Well, Vanessa's got this thing where she doesn't care about your element either. So we'll see what happens here.
Yeah, the Masha, and also she's been proccing just as much as the Twin Angels, by the way. Like, she's getting work done for Ray.
Yeah, exactly. Now it does have a heal on that third skill there. In what form? Like, that's another crazy thing, is understanding which one. There's a lighter hair and there's a darker hair, but only one of them heals and the other one does not. That's what a fun unit. I'm gonna have to learn this one for sure.
And look at this Stoic. It's boosting its own attack bar, albeit just a little bit. So it just took three to four turns in a row before Ray could even move. He's gonna need a crit. He got it, 18k, and a clutch proc from Masha is gonna seal the deal. Masha acting exactly how she did throughout the entire game. What a consistent monster in that way. I've never seen a monster proc so consistently.
I mean, it's exactly what I just said. Masha needs to crit opposite element, and she has that what we believe is the Elemental King passive. She just always seems to find a way to pump in that damage.
Yeah, that's the running gag, right? It's like it's her and Perna that have been kind of appropriating that passive that's supposed to just belong to Theomars, but it's like, hey, I'm seeing it on these monsters. Yeah,
exactly. I'm trying to do a little bit of research here, and it looks like both Twin Angels, you can decrease attack bar or gain attack bar, depending on which angel you're choosing to use skill 1 on. That's so interesting,
nice.
Going back and forth like that and have 6 skills available and they all do something different. That's actually got to be so pretty tough to learn. You have such a limited time to choose a skill.
Right? I know. I can't help but think about all the times when I've run out of time and accidentally taken an auto choice because I was just stuck considering between 2 skills with cooldowns. Couldn't imagine jumping between 4 skills with cooldowns.
Yeah, exactly. Funny thing here, we've got the pre-bans from last time. These are going to be the first picks. Chandra by Jeff Baldow, Water Ryu by Ray Delo,
Yeah, and that Masha definitely earned that spot, I'd say, Stoic. I would definitely be bringing her back on my team after that performance.
Yep. Well, Veljul's making another appearance here, except alongside the Hay Gang this time. Veljul was quickly dealt with by Ray DeLo, so I think Jeff Belladell's looking to keep his Veljul around just a little bit longer. Let's see what he's going to be wrapping up his draft here to do so. I know the light cookie felt good. It looked good, but I don't know if I would bring it back. I don't know if that's what Jeff needed to keep himself alive in that match.
Yeah, I think he might be considering the same thing. That's a really good insight, Stoic, because it didn't really get a highly effective turn. It spent most of its time stunned, and the only time it ever attacked, it was defense broken or defense neutral. Now that's a strong
Statement last pick there from Ray, trying to force the ban on the Douglas, the Fire Ryu.
I know. I feel like, it's like you got the Verti-Heal and you got the Veljul, and both of those can deal with the Douglas. But I feel like the Douglas might just do too much work by the time he gets to dealing with the Douglas. So it is a good ban. It's a really, really good last pick there for Ray DeLo. But let's see what happens. Ray looking for a 2-0. Jeff Belladell looking to keep himself alive.
Yeah, let's see. Does the Etna want to lock down the Wind Robo? Does it want to go? Goes for the Masha. Look at that, Stoic.
I love that. I think that's a great decision for Jeff to get rid of one of those problematic units where Masha she's dealing way too much damage. It's the only defense break on the other side of the field as well, so keeping your Veljul alive, that'll probably help a lot.
In perfect timing for the Hay Gang to kind of weave in there too, using the skill 2 to strip. Giving Moore a turn here is not that catastrophic considering he was going to be moving next anyway. So things are really working out in terms of turn order for Jeff Belladell right now.
It really is. Nice 11k second skill from the Veljul onto the Masha. Obviously getting the dismount here. No stun going onto the Veljul from that Wind Robo. Very nice.
Jeff's plan is looking like it's coming along well.
But we know that all it takes is one crit from that Masha to kind of turn the tides. He needs to quickly expedite this Masha. He's doing it. Etna can confirm the kill. He's thinking about using Hay Gang. Ends up just cleaning it up with the Etna.
Yeah, I think Jeff Belladell wins it right there. It was the problematic unit. It was the unit that was going to take out the Veljul and the Verti-Heal. And dealing with the Masha was just such high priority for Jeff. I think he can lock it down from here out.
I agree. Yeah, that's it. That's all we were
Concerned about just getting the Masha. That was the only real source of threat that was presented by Ray in this one. So I think he's probably thinking about what he wants to do in this game 3.
Yep. Veljul so good if you can keep it onto the field for sure. Looking for a full team strip. Almost gets the full team strip, but Ethna's almost dead, but she's still so good. Right there, she's about to get her skills all the way back up. You're getting your Verti-Heal boosts, but even Ethna can stay alive in this point.
I was going to tell him to go for the crit on the Moore. It's like, it's time to wrap this up. Well done, Jeff, tying it up against Ray in a 1-1. It is going to be best of 3 from the start here, so we've got one more game ahead of us for these two.
Yep, for sure. Felt like what won that match was the threat assessment. Jeff went right after the main threat, and then it was kind of just it from there. He had to clean up the rest of Ray DeLo's units, and let's see what happens, because I see things like this, and I can't help but say Ray DeLo's going to be adjusting, where we may see the Masha come back here, but I think he's going to bring maybe a safer draft and understand that if he's going to try and beeline a unit out like that Masha, just have something in the background. Maybe even in a Balio for times like this. I feel like a Balio could have been pretty nice.
Oh, a Balio's a really good counter to Masha. He's great. He can cut in and save a unit that she was beelining before. He's defensive and offensive, which is what I like about him.
Yep, for sure. Let's see what happens. We've got those original pre-bans from the very first match, the Water Ryu and the Chandra getting pre-banned. Ray DeLo with the first pick. Hay Gang is going to get locked in.
He's loving the Hay Gang.
He knows that another stripper is probably coming out despite banning them more. Jeff stealing the Masha.
Yep. Oh, that's a really good takeaway. Stealing the Masha, but I feel like we're seeing a Veljul from Jeff Belladell. I can't help but expect that to already come to the field. Maybe it's just a certain playstyle that he has going on right now that he really, really enjoys the Veljul. I think Veljul is a good unit, but keep in mind, there's already 2 strips on the field Ray DeLo's already showing, so maybe a more bruisery draft might be what we're looking for from Jeff from here out.
Yeah, and It would definitely be something where if he wanted to, he could consider a Juno. Now that Shizuka's been presented as well, he could kind of swap it out. Oh, look at that. There's the Juno right on cue. And now I think a Velojoule would be overcommitting on fire. So Smicer, a Hardly Knower, is a great choice.
Definitely a very good choice. Smicer is such a good unit right now. Those silences, like even when you try to keep back a Smicer, Smicer's still silencing units. It's very, very good. Anytime where you're doing something out of turn, where your opponent's trying to control you, but they can't stop something because it happens inevitably, like that's just what makes Smicer shine.
Such an interesting last pick from Jeff there with the Wind Robo too, because he's kind of making Ray think a little outside the box. He stole 2 of the units that Ray's been presenting, so they almost like swapped drafts, and now Ray finds himself in a position where he's playing a totally new comp.
Yep. So keeping Shizuka back from being able to use any skills is going to be very, very important. So hopefully landing those silences with the Smicer. But I feel like Changpeng might be a priority, or maybe even the Tessarian. So we'll see where that second skill from Mash is going to be going onto the field here.
Oh, and the defense break already. Pumping the Changpeng. Procking like you've seen.
Just like that.
That was very smart. That was a great play there too. Cleaned it up with the Juno.
Yeah, so nice right there. That's kind of what happened, and I feel like that's the way that Jeff was looking to stat that off there. So he got his opening, beautiful defense break coming from his Light Angels. I believe that defense break right there, that was the buff for this unit.
Yeah, that, and
well shown, by the way. That was kind of a nice showcase for the monster, setting up for the Changpeng so that way Masha could do heavy damage and then Juno can finish it off. That was pretty great.
Yep, it really was. Now, of course, you can't say everything's going to be over from here out because, like, additional turns are a thing, and Shizuka's still on the field and has skills ready and available. So I feel like maybe you should do the third. He's going to bring back third. He's going to bring back the Changpeng. I don't know. Yeah, you know what? This is totally fine. Serious Matters coming out here. He wants to get the reset, the attack bar pushbacks. Totally fair.
Yeah, nice opportunity there to just kind of get everybody's attack bars reduced, use Changpeng skills. If you're not using them, then you're not getting the skill cooldown time back, so it's kind of good to keep him in mind, think of him as still here in a way, and there will be one more turn, hypothetically, where Shizuka can use that third skill.
Yeah. Well, there's a nice Oblivion sitting on top of the Smicer, so no silence is going to be coming out, so definitely beneficial for Ray below right now. That Smicer's not going to be smicing.
Yeah, Smicer, no smicing. Oh, Tessa's got a big choice right now, Stoic. Ray could take out either Smicer or the Juno.
That was the pick. I was going to say, I think he's got to go and keep that Smicer down. It's too big of a problem. So he's going to get the Oblivions out there, all the bombs out here. Smicer will be dropping, though, so this is very, very beneficial right now for Ray Delo. You know, we were telling him, like, you can't count it out yet when you got that Shizuka. You got Tessarian still available. This is huge.
And he couldn't get the kill on the Yennefer.
This is looking real tough for Jeff. He had some great tempo early, but things are slowly starting to fall apart. This Masha is going to have to do some carrying, and we are inadvertently getting a Twin Angel showcase.
Yeah, we really are. Now, there's nothing that this Juno can do right now. Defense broke for 2 turns, Oblivion for 2 turns, so there's going to be no cleansing here. So whether you like it or not, Juno will be dropping. And what Jeff Balldown needs to see is more of those additional turns coming from the Angel and that Masha, so we can pump in as much damage as possible. Look for at a strip going out on Masha, and Tessarian's going to be pumping this unit, but the immunity will pop back up on Masha.
Yeah, and he got a really
Awkward proc there too to get his cooldown time back, but there was no opportunity to use it. I would probably call that a bad proc from Jeff Balldown. He would have preferred to see that maybe one turn later.
Does he get the Oblivion and the additional? Oh no! That could have ended it right there if he had got that. That's crazy. Procking out of the Oblivion is actually wild.
All is forgiven for Masha in Jeff Balldown's eyes. You know, she's clearly trying to make this work right now. The Twin Angels are working with nice synergy in the Masha. This is well done by Jeff. He started out, started to lose it a little bit, and then reclaimed it in the end.
Yep, definitely. Nice little silence there going on with the Light Angel, but I don't think that Light Angel cares too much about it. Oh, you know what? Little note here, Evan. When they selected skill 1, we can't actually tell what skill 1 they selected with the Light Angel. So in that UI, it highlighted both skill 1's top and bottom when they selected it. So very, very interesting moment there for UI's sake when we're looking at that.
Oh yeah, something to keep in mind too. We'll have to pay close attention to the
unless they chose both. If they only used the skill ones and they chose both on that one. But man, that was such a great showcase for a balance patch unit. Actually, I wasn't expecting to see the Twin Angels in the first game here, but I actually really liked them. Masha was proccing a ton for both sides, actually, when she was on Ray's side and when she was over on Jeff's side.
Masha's one of those units, you know, like she doesn't care about your emotions, doesn't care about your feelings. She's got one thing and it's her own agenda. It's the defense break, violent proc, and crit no matter what.
She certainly doesn't care about your element either. There we go. So we're in the first game right now, seeing the light cookie activating, kind of like we said, she's at parity with her defense. Wasn't able to contribute a ton. We've definitely seen this monster do more in the past. So I think it was the right call from Jeff to part with her.
Yep, definitely was here. That was great, you know, to come back from that first loss, Ray DeLow taking round one, and then Jeff Liddell taking the next two after that. You know, you love to see things like that because it just shows that, you know, even though Jeff had lost, you know, he lost a match, was able to clap back and capitalize on his next two following matches, not being affected by that.
Oh yeah, just well played with the Etna. This was just the cleanest draft
To me, good targeting, got rid of the threat super early, and then just kind of played the slow and methodical game to just wipe out the rest of the units until it was time to say GG.
Exactly. This is such a great match right here. We had some awesome back and forth where Ray, I felt like he had that edge. He dropped that Smicer. Oblivion was staying up on top of that Juno. I thought Ray was going to take this, and he had that great moment at the very, very end there where, you know, we had Masha not dismounted, I'm sorry, but stripped from the Shizuka, where Tsaryn, if Tsaryn got a proc, that could have ended everything Jeff had going for himself.
Yeah, exactly. And also, remember that the defense break that we saw in Chungpung at the very start of this last highlight here, that was put there by the Twin Angels. That was some really good speed tuning. You know, Jeff set it up so that they'd follow right next to each other, put the defense break on the Chungpung, and then like was ready to go. Like, good on him to see the use in that, because it can kind of be a little bit scary bringing a new unit that's been recently buffed onto your comp, you know, when you don't necessarily know how potent it's going to be. And so bringing it onto the team and having it be one of the MVPs is definitely really cool to see.
Yeah, it definitely is. I mean, clearly the Twin Angels, they offer a lot when you have 6 skills at your disposal. But I do believe this is the only a Twin Angel that has a speed lead, and I feel like you could really capitalize on that. Anytime you see a unit with a speed lead, and sometimes I took advantage of this, like back when Oliver wasn't a thing, I knew something was going to happen, and then Oliver ended up getting a 33 speed lead, and I was like, this unit's going to be wild, and then of course, like, comes out, unit was bananas.
And it's like, here we are today. He still has a profound impact to this day. Yeah, that was
we'll
a
see
good
if
one.
Water Angels is that unit.
Yeah, you called it. He could be ahead of the curve with the Twin Angels for this one too. The next round that we have ahead of us, Stoic, is going to be Rhino versus Big V, and that's a big name to be up against. You seemed excited about seeing Rhino here too. One of the first times we've seen him appear in the tournament.
Very excited. So obviously a Twitch streamer, you can find him on Twitch. Someone who's really been grinding it out, you know, with the streams and everything. So it's incredible to see him taking advantage of the summit here, being here, because we haven't seen him on an SWC platform yet. So obviously this is just one of those people that we'd love to showcase and watch what he could do here. So we know him for having like a cleave style, but we have lots to say about Big V being an America's Cup champion, you know, being a SWC finalist, going into the world final. Like, this is definitely a tough opponent here for Rhino.
He's one of the biggest names in all of Summoners War, all of competitive Summoners War. So Rhino's probably got something in his back pocket for this. The pre-bans are already out. Looks like pre-banning a Laura and a Draco. Does Rhino use Draco in his cleave, Stoic?
Yes, he does. This is homework done by Big V. He definitely knows his opponent here, because that's I feel like we called it a Jap cleave a lot, and that playstyle is something that Rhino does like to bring to the table. So looks like Rhino is going to be speed contesting. He's locking in a 33 speed lead. Let's see if he adjusts and does try to like surprise Big V here. But I am kind of expecting Rhino to be all gas. He's a turn 1 player.
Love it. We're off to the races. Oh, and Shizuka's here too. We can still be off to the races. We'll see how this goes. I'm in love of a speed contest between these players. And I love seeing the Adriana here. I actually just 6-starred one 2 days ago. So, you know, this will be fun, you know. It's a way for me
there's
to.
some really nice pacing out of both players here. So both players offering a 33 speed lead, and both players offering a very fast unit, which is the Ethna and the Ariana.
Yeah, Adriana.
The Adriana. And then what I love about Juno and Shizuka, both units can shift into a turn 2 playstyle or, help with a turn 1 playstyle. And we're seeing, again, a Mi Ying. How fast is this Mi Ying? And this is actually a combination you're very familiar with, Evan.
I love this, dude. Oh my god, I don't know if you heard. I just choked when I saw this. I love the Mi Yang with the Shiho and the Shizuka. This is such a fun combo. Oh my god, he's letting it through with the Diana. Oh my god, I hope we get to see this actually happen. I realize I haven't actually described what the combo is. Essentially what it does is Mi Yang's got what we kind of colloquially call a soft cleanse on skill 3, where it reduces the amount of turns that are remaining on your debuffs, but it increases the amount of turns on your buffs. And what that effectively does is it gives you infinite invincibility with Shiho. Yeah, you kind of, if you have that, you kind of got to ban it out. And it also adds invincibility to the pool for Shizuka. So Mi Yang plus Shizuka is fun, and she was semi-recently buffed to have auto crit on skill 2.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, that second skill super, super nice, and does provide a lot of damage as well. This was kind of popular when when Mi Yang first got buffed, as a lot of people were pushing super high damage with that skill 2. Let's see what Rhino has in store for us. He's taking turn 1 here. Both players have a 33 speed lead, but a very fast Vanessa.
Yeah, no lie, he's definitely won my heart right now. He could go for the auto crits on Diana to just get some good damage in. It's probably built on crit damage since it's auto critting. Chooses to instead go for the attack bar boost and strip off the skill 2 by tackling that Volantis.
Yeah, 3 hits doing all over 4k damage for Rhino, so some solid numbers that we got to see here.
If he wanted to, he could do all things. Chooses to, just to get the defense breaks and the stuns. He's been pushing that Diana forward, so denying that extra turn with a stun is exactly what the doctor ordered.
Yeah, for sure, but this is where things do become problematic, is when there's no immunity on your field. Oliver is going to be very, very impactful, and that's exactly what Rhino did not want to see. As soon as Diana starts moving, is almost as soon as you see things start dropping off your field, and clearly we know Ethna to be a very, very fast unit who can do a lot of damage and is not known to receive a lot of damage. So this this Ethna is going to be dropping very shortly.
That was slightly mitigated by the violent proc that Oliver just got, but semi-big brain plays from Rhino there, where he used skill 1 from Vanessa, attacked the Oliver, got the increased cooldown time effect. That was great. Now, this is exactly what Rhino's been trying to avoid the whole time. Volantis using skill 3, getting those strips and despair stuns. It's starting to drift out of Rhino's favor right now, unfortunately.
Yep, it really is. And again, Diana's going to be cycling to another turn. The attack bar has been reduced to nothing on top of that Mi Ying. And this is kind of just where Diana wins the rest of this match. There's just not enough left on Rhino's field to do anything about it. But I do think Diana probably remains the threat for Rhino. He needs to keep this defense broken and just everybody else from doing anything at all. But he just doesn't have enough to do that now.
It's something that I'd like to further investigate in the replays too. Obviously Rhino knows more about his comp than I do, but I would have liked to maybe see him try to do a beeline on that Diana. He had the defense break, had the auto crits from Mi Yang, and then also the Ethna was going to follow up right after that Stoic. So it would have kind of been cool to see if we could just try to take down that Diana early, but I know it's kind of a tall order, especially when it's Big V's Diana.
Exactly. Yeah, I think that's something that Rhino is keeping in mind. We'll see what happens if maybe we'll have those opportunities later on in this best of 3. But we've got our pre-bans from last time. They are now available, and our new pre-bans is that Oliver and Adriana getting pre-banned by both players here.
It's all over for Oliver. He's in the pre-bans. We're not seeing him. This is the first game that we actually saw Oliver even picked. He didn't make an appearance between Ray and Jeff.
Yep, well, there's the Vanessa take coming from Big V, taking that away from Rhino. He noticed how fast that Vanessa was. So, losing that unit, so that's 233 speed leads off the field, might I add. Well, for Rhino.
Whoa, Talisman. Now we are going for a very traditional cleave here. We're going just straight up damage. That's the name of the game.
Exactly. He does a lot of this. He's known for this cleave directly is the Draco into the talisman. And he's been playing just this exact so I feel like this is where, Big V shines, because Rhino isn't trying anything new. This is something that Big V is very, very comfortable with seeing. This is something that he expected from Rhino, and he's able to draft accordingly. And this is something that we always bring up during SWC is your predictability. You're going to feel only more comfortable to draft your 5 units when you can almost predict all 4 to 5 units that your opponent's about to draft.
Yes, and now it would be great to see Rhino maybe pick a speed lead here or something, because I don't know if you can necessarily rely on the Fire Robo to get enough proc fuel, as it were, to actually boost ahead and strip the enemy team, because I think only 2, maybe 3 of Big V's units are actually going to be on Violent.
I was saying he needs some form of speed lead because he's in a position of banning out the Vanessa, and he's going to really try to push to outspeed Big V. But you got to keep in mind, you're looking at 2 massive speed units like Laura and the Ethna. Even the Jognam, very fast.
Oh, wow. Interesting. Neither player goes for the starter or the speed lead. Instead, they opt to just to take out some of the other supporting casts there. The Jungnam definitely a big name right now with the crowd control on skill 3 and the true damage on skill 2. Here we go. Laura gets turn 1, gets some huge additional damage there, by the way.
Massive additional damage. Going in for a capture on the Talisman being the damage dealer, the main focus that he has to get rid of on Rhino's team, and he does away with it immediately. This is looking so good for Big V.
Oh, you hate to see that if you're Rhino. That's a big downside, plus the buff block, just the icing on the cake there. Rhino's thinking about his options, opts to go for the defense break, sticking with it. Love to see that. We've still got the Pontos here, who can do the cleanse into the immunity and invincibility to give himself a little bit of breathing room.
Yep, getting the silences everywhere, it's pretty important here. But I feel like what we're seeing right now is the Vanessa take was very, very good for Big V. So Rhino not having a unit like that, pretty impactful for him, because if he does lose something early, he has the Vanessa to offer in that revive to bring his unit back if he did lose out on the talisman, and then kind of work something else after that, because it just has that room for error, and I think Rhino may need that Vanessa a lot. But that was a great take from Big V.
Oh yeah, and we're actually seeing a couple favorable interactions here right now, Stoic. I mean, things are going kind of well for Rhino, even though he's still very much behind. He's getting some very clutch despair stuns when he needs it, which is great. The whole team was stunned for a second. Let's see if the Fire Robo can do that again. He worked another miracle and did get Chiwu stunned, which is good. He needs to get it on the end, and he got it. Oh my god.
Oh, that is a beautiful holy ground. Can he come back with this? He needs to come back with that.
Let's see.
If he gets an attack buff, this could be really good for him. Speed buff's pretty good.
He just needs to get the stuns out, because Chiwu does very much have skill 3. He's been keeping him at bay with all the stuns that the Fire Robo's been getting. Fire Robo's making it look like that's consistent, like it's actually guaranteed. He's been hitting it so much.
Does he get the strip? He needs it. Does get the strip. And I think that should be it here. He's going to silence everybody, but this isn't really pushing anybody back here. You know what? I feel like you gamble. Knowing that you lose your fire robo, I think what you need to do is the fly and try to pull out the additional turns to push that up there, but that's not what's going to be happening here. Dang!
No,
Rhino!
But
man.
No, but Rhino! Oh my god, dude. What a great showing from Rhino. Big V taking the win, moving forward. And if you enjoyed Rhino's playstyle like I did, don't worry, you're going to get to see more of him. We still have that bottom bracket that we had from last month. So we are going to get to see more of these players who lost in their first set. Man, that was fun to watch, dude.
It definitely was. I think we could have had a very exciting moment from Rhino. If he had done what I had said, I would have not liked to see the skill 2 from the Draco. I would have loved to see the skill 1 additional turns with fly, and then we would have had additional turn, pull third skill to then bust out with a second skill coming from that Fire Robo. Man, shoot for the stars and land among the gods. We could have had an amazing moment.
Dude, you know what? I think you're right, Stoic. To your credit, I think
You were totally right. He was getting a lot of favorable activations there too. He was getting despair stuns when he needed them from the Fire Robo.
I think you just go for it at that point. I totally get the idea of wanting to set up the defense breaks for the Pontos, but like I'm with you, dude. I think you just need to go for it at that point when you're already behind. But still, he showed us a really good time with that team. And he almost came back. Like, this is kind of unbelievable, Stoic. Like, I thought he was out for sure way earlier.
Yeah, it's just... It could have been fun. It could have been fun. I think it was a great showing. You know, I applaud Rhino. We're going to see more Rhino later on, so don't feel like he's going to be out. So he will be bumping down to another bracket. So we will see more of him. Big V getting his Summoners points in moving forward. So congratulations, Big V. We knew it was definitely going to be a tough match for Rhino. You know, Big V, super strong competitor, previous SWC champion, and you know, that's a tough one.
Truly, we can't speak enough praise for Big V. He's clearly made his presence known. He's like a household name in the Summoners War community too. But I love what Rhino brought to the table, and what he did bring were really entertaining drafts too, like with the Mi Yang, and the Shiho and the Shizuka. It was a fun set, and now we're moving on to another big one, Stoic. We got True Whale versus Thompson.
I know that matches like this like bring you back to SWC. Like these are massive players that we see here, known for both of them winning America's Cup, both of them being finalists in SWC Worlds, making it all the way to the very final match. Both of them losing to the same player as well. Both of them losing to Les.
That's a pretty funny. That's a pretty funny point too. Yeah, exactly. It's like, you know, you look at the Americas Summit and how wonderful it is. This is like an off-season way to keep like competitive Summoners War here too. But it's like, you know, we get to be more casual with our approach. But then you have a game like this, and all of a sudden I'm locked in. Stoic. I'm like, this is it, dude. This is like SWC all over again.
Exactly. New pre-bans coming out here. This is going to set the pace. When you have two players like this that have so much to offer, like their boxes go deep. So there's a lot of things that can be pre-banned here. Obviously, very good things that can get pre-banned here. True Whale choosing to pre-ban the Widget, quite interesting. I think Nikki's an incredible unit for Tom to be pre-banning here. So this is interesting. I don't know what direction both these players are going to be taking as we get into this match. There's a lot of things. It looks like Thompson's flashing the Amduat. I'm guessing he's seeing a lot of Amduat coming from True Whale.
It could also be you took my light bird, so I'm going to take the dark one. I still got the dark one.
maybe like you banned the wrong bird. I have no clue, but let's see what happens here. Ciara Zabala from True Whale. We've seen a little bit of this play back in our previous weeks here. Thompson going with an Ethna and a
Zima.
Zima, there it is. I knew I was almost there.
Yeah,
Zima, True Whale taking the 33 lead.
One of those.
Something like that.
Something like that. Yeah, Zima, Ligma, Secondi, something like that.
Exact. Yeah. We're almost there.
We're almost there.
And it's Oliver and the Jack Robo.
It's another one of those units that I didn't realize that I had in my storage, and I 6-star. I was really pleasantly surprised. Zima's definitely been one of the monsters that's been taking the spotlight as of late, and still even more so now that we're currently in a special league season that doesn't allow LDs.
Yes, yeah, it's a very, very good unit. It's getting a lot of action with a lot of like Tomo, Layla, great gameplay coming from all those like play styles there. I'm kind of expecting to see a Juno still. No Juno coming out of Thompson. It's going to be the Fire Paladin. That's
Ophelia.
Interesting. Now, this unit did get buffed though, so the second skill provides invincibility and immunity. Only invincible, or I'm sorry, is it 2-turn invincibility if there's nothing to cleanse? And so it's like 1-turn invincibility, but like 2-turn invincibility if there's nothing to cleanse. There's the buff to it, and apparently
right.
True Whale wants nothing to do with the newly
Doesn't want
buffed
anything to do with it.
Paladin. All right.
Doesn't want anything to do with that. That sounds awful. Says True Whale. I don't want that. Here we go.
Right,
Game 1.
Do we have a Masha like we saw in that the very first match that we had with the Summit? We'll find out. We're going off third skill from the Wunsa, second skill from the Stack Robo. We've got True Whale really trying to set himself up right here, and Thompson really getting that's a lot of HP missing from him.
Oh yeah, really a lot of HP missing indeed. And they both played for turn 1. Unfortunately, we got True Whale who just took it in spades, and he gets a nice little proc on top with Ciara for good measure. Let's see how much damage this Masha can do.
Yeah, the Masha definitely doing a lot of damage there. 50% the Ciara. Keep in mind, Ciara is usually built on a damage set, so it's not known to be super, super tanky, but these guys have incredible rune quality. But that was definitely a lot of damage coming from Masha.
Oh yeah, did half with no buffs, no nothing, no defense break, took out half the HP. It's not over. Oh my goodness, that proc is everything that True Whale wanted right there, just to make sure that Etna doesn't have the skills to take out a unit.
It was. I was saying that. I was going to say the Curse of the Beautiful from the Nephthys is a perfect time. You know, it's his time to kind of come back, getting the silences across the board there. But beautiful additional turns from the Oliver. Turned everything around. Well, not turned everything around, but just like it's what True was looking for.
Definitely was, because Etna was queued up to go next in the lineup, and she had all of her skills. So she probably could have taken down a unit right there. That's okay. Now Thompson's got a good feel for what speeds all these units are, and so he can probably adjust accordingly after that.
Yep, let's see what happens. We get into round number 2. Nikki and Wajette are available as we get into match number 2. New pre-bans getting locked in right here.
Yeah, let's see what they want to take. Does Thompson want to take the Wedgeat? Does he have a Wedgeat? Does he just have the Omduat? I think he's got a Wedgeat.
Both players have a Wedgeat.
Yeah, so they're fighting for it. Wedgeat was tearing it up at SWC last year too, and thanks to a semi-recent nerf, he's gotten a little bit less potent, I'd say, but he's still so valuable, Stoic.
Yeah, still a very, very good unit offering a speed lead as well. So units that offer speed leads, if you can get any form of value from it, just makes them so much better from their route. We got 2 non-LD bans here, Zima and Ciara, getting pre-banned.
I like that choice. We've already talked a lot about Zima. Ciara has been getting picked so frequently. I don't think we've seen Ciara get picked this much since like 2019.
Wow. A priority pick on the Zabala. That feels so weird to see from True Whale, but all right, Zabal is getting a priority right now for a True Whale.
He really wants to use it. He brought it last time too and didn't get to see much use with it. And so we got the Nephthys and the Laura. We were just talking about this unit before the stream, actually, huh, Stoic?
Yep, Ciara coming in for True Whale here. It's got a 3rd skill that's going to offer some endure and attack buff, with the 2nd skill that's a lot like the fire version of the Galtrix, or Fire Cassandra.
Yeah, exactly. She's very much like her sister in that way, but she doesn't prevent her own death on a passive. Instead, she just has that endure effect.
Yeah, Juno looking super good right now. I like the Juno for the freezes, the Volantis. Not so much for that Ciara, but Ciara might be the ban right now, because that's the only thing offering high volatility right now to remove something from Thompson's field. And then obviously we know what Oliver does. Can we get a Fire Monkey King, please?
That would be great, or something extremely, extremely fast. I know that's asking for a lot, considering that Laura and Gianna have already been picked, but like right now it's looking like Laura might
Fire
soak
Monkey
the ban.
King.
No way!
So fast. Wow,
No
we got
way.
an old playstyle busting out a unit like that. So Triana comes out, soaks up the pre-ban as well. Only a 21 speed lead coming up for True Whale with the Ciara. So I am definitely expecting Thompson to be taking turn 1. Laura, super, super fast. Gianna, we know that's built fast for Thompson as well. He's taking all turn 1s here.
That was such a hype last pick from Thompson, by the way. Just throwing down a Triana so that he didn't need to ban the Dark Gladiatrix. We'll see if that Ciara, we'll see if it comes back to bite him. Let's see what he can do to dispatch her urgently, because he's still going to get an ignore defense hit on the Gianna and take it down.
Yep, Gianna does drop there. Obviously not looking super great for Thompson. Curse of the Beautiful looking so good with Nephthys here. You know, trying to create some openings. We will have 2nd skill available on this Laura. So with everybody really, really low right now, Ciara's going to get boosted. There's the Endure coming up. There's no strips available. There's also no immunity.
True. So it still get locked down in a perfect world right now. We'll see Volantis do some pretty big damage and gets a clutch little stun on Etna too. Here comes Curse of the Beautiful coming out. Ciara still does not have anything that's going to stop her from attacking on her turn though.
He has to land all the stuns here. And he does get 2 stuns, which is kind of nice. But Volantis is definitely one of the problem units. I think you have to just hit the Volantis and get it silenced up before we get another... I believe the skill 2 is up and available.
He used it to transform back a second ago, but we'll see what he prioritizes. Yeah, it's looking good for True Whale, but he's also in a fragile position because all of his units are at effectively 1 HP. So let's see. A nice proc from
additional turn
Nephthys.
right there.
She's trying to win the game for him.
Yep, she really is. Nice stun there on the revenge as well. And you got second skill available, attack buff. He's dropping units, man. I don't see Thompson coming back from that one. And True Whale with the 2-0.
True Whale. Clean 2 wins against Thompson right here. But again, everybody, Thompson is still going to be in that bottom bracket. So if you want to see more Thompson, you will get more Thompson.
The only thing that I can't quite reconcile, Stoic, is that at the beginning of the game, when Etna was shown to go first, he went for Zabala and not the Wunsa. I was curious about that one. I was thinking that it would go on the Wunsa instead.
Yeah, the Wunsa was the very fast unit. It was the unit that went right after. So maybe that was the mistake there and should have went for the Wunsa as well, because Wunsa kind of what started it and turned things around there for True Whale. It was the strip into a Zabala or the strip into, XYZ that True Whale had on his team there. So maybe that was the play to lock down that Wunsa and not have to, or not give True Whale that opener there.
Yeah, at least to go for the chance, because eventually that Zabala would go instead. So we'll have to see in the replays, maybe when it opens up again. We'll see what happens if it's in there. But I think I would have liked to see a version of that game where Wunsa was the target for the Etna skill 3 at the start. But it was just devastating. I think maybe target the Wunsa, and I hesitate to say, but I think I still would have banned the Dark Gladiatrix, the Kiara.
Yeah, the Kiara was definitely the volatile unit, but it's that 33 speed lead that Thompson was afraid of the most. So 33 speed lead Wunsa, it would definitely have outsped Thompson's Ethna, where Thompson's Ethna set the tone there. So I feel like if we had banned out the Kiara, I do believe Wunsa does exactly what happens in the last match. So obviously we wouldn't have that damage, the one-shot ability coming from True Whale, but what we would have had was more control. We had Volantis with all the provokes and all the additional damage out there, the dots, everything, and then you have Oliver just shutting down whatever unit's going next for Thompson. So I feel like we get the same way, we get more of a controlled play. But again, I think it kind of comes back to what you were saying. If Thompson chose to lock down the Wunsa and stopped the True Whale creating an opening for himself.
Yeah, and really well explained. I think you're right about the pick ban, because Thompson got a really good feel for the speeds, so at that point he could probably even just feel the difference. There gets to a point where you can just kind of feel, it's like, okay, a 33 is going to put the Wunsa ahead of me, so I need to take out the 33% speed lead. So I definitely see the logic there in banning out the Oliver instead of Gladiatrix. It was just that first turn. Yeah, like we're talking about, I just want to see that first turn played out a little differently though. Great games from both players. Excited to see Thompson in the bottom bracket, and we'll get to see True Whale as he moves forward. Next up, we've got Mendieta versus Zazas. Zazas being the #1 player from last month's monthly trial.
Yep, he's also the #1 Latin American player from the previous year as well. Zazas is a threat out here. I can't help but say we're already going to be seeing him in the final, but we don't know that yet, because Mendieta's got something to say, right? Mendieta's going up against him. He's going to give him his all. He's going to try to take down Zazas today.
Oh, yeah, and we've talked about homework, we talked about how Big V did his homework earlier today. If there's someone who's easy to do homework on, it's going to be Zazas, because he's gotten so much exposure. So Mendieta does have a moment here where he could kind of present a strategy that he's built up in the back to try to take down Zazas and go for that #1 slot.
Yep, well, let's see what happens. Pre-bans getting locked in right here. Let's see what these players choose to prioritize against one another.
They're thinking about it. I got to tell you, Stoic, Zazas really impressed me with his strategy and also his patience last time. Because even in the midst of a really aggressive draft too, the guy played with some really good thought processes. He was very patient with his choices in game.
Yep, for sure. Chandra getting a pre-ban. Nikki with a very, very high win rate. It's a very good unit. Zazas wants nothing to do with the Nikki. Mendieta with the first pick. Let's see what he chooses to potentially take away from Zazas, going with the Water Ryu.
That's a great first pick. A lot of people would agree that that's a super stellar first pick. In fact, I just saw a meme about it today on the Summoners War subreddit about how ubiquitous it's become to pick more as your first pick here. But 24 speed lead, with a great strip and a fantastic passive that lends himself to some solo potential. He's a great unit, even now, despite the memes.
More importantly, why the Moor is so good. It's so great to swap to a turn 2, be a turn 1, and in today's Summoners War, in today's meta, the flexibility of your team is so important, and Wateryu offers that.
Yeah, he really does. That's a good point too. He's a neutral pick. He can be your starter, but he can fit into a bruisery playstyle too. Whoa, look at that Acroma. All of a sudden we got 3 Valkyries represented over on Zazas' side.
Ooh boy, and it's going to have my favorite transmog, I hope. We'll see, because I love that Guardian transmog for the Valkyries. I do believe it's the best transmog in the game, and I will fight everyone. I will hold and stand tall on that mountain.
Are you talking about the ultimate weapon?
The ultimate weapon.
Oh yeah, that is a classic. That is a classic skin.
Yep. Comp just didn't have to go that hard, and they did, man. And they did.
They really did, and it's an oldie but a goodie. I think that skin was pretty important too, because it also like kind of set the pace for future skins. It was like what needs to be there for it to be still considered a Valkyrie, and they added that cyberpunky aspect. Oh, dude, it's almost like you told Zazas what the last pick should have been. This is exactly how our streams go.
Yep, exactly. Feng Yan's so good. So to me, when I see a Feng Yan being drafted, I can't help but see a Masha getting banned already. Masha's in response to the Fire Monkey King. Masha's in response to the Feng Yan now. Masha's in response to like Vanessa. Masha makes it way through still. Chung Pung and Vanessa are getting the bans here. Masha's just going to be the one that Zazas has to worry about, has to deal with first. Keep in mind, we've got a Camilla, we've got an Acroma. All of that's going to be great to do away with the Masha here.
Yeah, if he can get rid of that Masha early, things are looking pretty good for Zazas, But, oh wow, they've got the even more recent Valkyrie skin, by the way, the Siege one. That's really
a good one. That's a good one. Is Ultimate Weapon Camilla a fan that I am? This is a very good transmog.
Oh yeah, it's definitely one of the best in the games. They go pretty hard on the Valkyrie skins. Oliver looking for something to do, increases the cooldown time of Feng Yan. I love how like Acroma and Meiho Wang accomplish such similar goals. Whoa, big resist from the Meiho Wang on the defense break too.
Very big. If he had got that defense break, we could be looking at Mendieta already, taking advantage and looking to get a step forward here on Zazas, but not getting that defense break. Beautiful silence glancing on the perfect unit to land that on Oliver.
Zazas effectively managing
the enemy's team here, not letting Oliver get too many opportunities for value. Only skill 1 available here. A proc could have hurt, and now Feng Yan to confirm the kill. One more thing stands in the way between Zazas and victory, and it's that Masha.
Yep, that's right. He got rid of the Oliver here, and that was great threat assessment too. Masha and Oliver, definitely units that you have to worry about. Not having immunity. Zazas has to worry about the Oliver pushing him back and resetting all of his units. So definitely the right thing to do here. And it looks like a lot of his attention is going to go on the Praha, the sustain this time.
Yeah, it's a good one to prioritize. I would say that since we were talking about Elemental King units earlier, I would say that the Fire Monkey King may also have a secret Elemental King in his passive too. He tends to proc on water when I need him to.
I know, there's this funny business about some of these fire units, man, where it's Masha doesn't care, Fire Monkey King doesn't care. These are very, very good units. Most people ruin both these units on maximum crit rate as well, but they just always seem to crit when you need them.
Is that a Chroma on Revenge, by the way? Did I just see it attack? That was...
I missed that. That could have been a Revenge Chroma, which is kind of nice.
Yeah, I think he just attacked, that's a very cool way to ruin it.
Normally I'm a little bit hard on Achromas. I call them just a wall of HP, but I think that Zazas actually used it really effectively this time. That silence on the Oliver came in so clutch.
Chroma takes a very fine rune quality for it to be very effective. It got to be tanky. It has to deal damage, and getting it on a revenge set, if that is a revenge set, a violent revenge set, is very, very important if you can do it well.
I want Mendieta to hit the Acroma a little bit more.
Because I wanted to see it again. Maybe we'll get a peek at it in the replay. We'll see, and I'm sure we'll see the Acroma in the future. Just super well played, well drafted from Zazas. Great threat assessment too. I like seeing what I would want him to target versus what Zazas actually wants to target himself. It's like I wanted to beeline the Masha. He wanted to take a little bit more reserved of an approach and go for Oliver first.
Exactly. Well, Mendita does have that Nikki. So Nikki, very, very impactful unit. Let's see if he'll be able to play a little bit better with, another LD Nat 5 in his wheelhouse here. Or potentially his only LD Nat 5, because we didn't get to see anything else here from Mendita that was in that nature. So we'll see how well he can perform now having a Nikki available.
Let's see how that changes up the draft for him. He might feel more comfortable, a little bit more at home with that Nikki. We've talked at length about how stellar of a unit Nikki can be. Offering both damage, setup, and also cleanse. Like, she's just great.
Yep, really, really is. Wonder what his first picks are going to be now that he sees the Water Ryu or the Moor being taken away from him as his first pick here.
He's taking his time to think and instead lands on two very impactful LD units in Pontos and Nikki.
Yeah, the Pontos, very good, offering a speed lead as well. We're not necessarily a turn 1 team yet, but we definitely have the making to be a turn 1 team. Masha, great, can go either way here. Changpong, a little more on the turn 1 side of things, where we're potentially banning out speed leads or high speed units from Zazas. Let's see what happens here.
And Zazas answered quite effectively with the Juno and the Etna there. Juno is a stellar counter for Pontos. Once he sets up the immunity and the invincibility, she's right there to just strip it all off the team. And so Zazas is setting up for the post strip here with the Nefties and the Ashir.
Definitely trying to speed contest. So Zazas wants that turn 1. We see this when we see an Ethna. We see that when we see an Escher. He locked in 2 speed leads here, so he's looking at that turn 1 for sure. I think what we would have to see from Mendita if he really wants that turn 1, if he thinks his Changpong and Pontos are fast enough, is a 33 drop on this field. But I feel like you may have to kind of turn around and draft something in the middle ground here.
Oh, that's an effective last pick from Mendieta,
making Zazas choose to take it out, although I don't think that Zazas is too put off by it. I think he drafted well for the 4 monsters he's going to be fighting. Regardless, it is still looking like Zazas is probably going to be taking turn 1 here because he's got 2 extremely fast base speed units.
I think Zazas has what it takes to deal with this Fire Ryu or Douglas. You have the Water Ryu, you have Juno first skill, you have Ashir third skill, but it looks like he doesn't want to deal with it at all. It's going to get banned out here. Water Ryu is going to get banned as well.
It was a good ban from Mendieta. In a way, he kind of hedged his bets because
the more that Water Ryu was probably the most direct counter to the Douglas, the Fire Ryu. And so by banning it, he's getting double value by taking out a speed lead and a strip, and he's also protecting his Fire Ryu on the off chance it doesn't get banned.
Yep, exactly. Well, both players going with a 24 speed lead. Zazas definitely taking turn 1 with the Ethna and the Escher.
Let's see. He can do the Predator's Cry, set up Ethna going next. We see Juno primed and ready to use skill 2 if she needs to strip everything and get Nefties ready for her skill 2.
I like that he went with the skill 3 onto the Nikki and not going with the skill 2, because I do believe this Pontos is probably going to be violent, and I believe it's violent Nem is that offset.
Oh my word! This is what we're talking about. That monster has one of the most devastating procs in the entire game.
Oh no! He needed to see way more defense breaks than that, though.
He did, but I don't think he's too pressed for it because he's definitely got time to rest, consider. He just took out a unit with the Masha. Like, I think things are looking pretty good because Zazas did unfortunately have to burn that skill 2 from Juno.
He did. So second skill goes out. No invincibility sitting on top of the Masha. Masha definitely a high priority unit to get rid of here because that's where a lot of Mendita's damage is going to be coming from until Nikki gets that third skill back up again. Serious Matters available. That's very, very good for Mendita. Able to keep his team back. He's going to be healing up. You know what? Mendita's looking like he's locking it in now.
Oh, yeah. As soon as Pontos got that proc, it was pretty much over. This is what I like to call an expeditious proc. Masha's procking, but it doesn't necessarily, it's not something that's declaring that I'm winning the game. It's just moving things along,
I think it's definitely what needed to happen there. Mendita, I believe that's a violent nemesis Pontos, and it was very, very fast. So if it had gotten hit by the second skill from the Ethna, I believe it would push Pontos to be up front there for the third skill, Holy Ground, protecting his team, where he was able to get that violent from Pontos and getting the Holy Ground on his team. So I feel like either way, Mendita's got exactly what he was looking for, whether it was the violent or proccing the nemesis.
That's true. And that could be something that
could be abused. The only thing that I'll say to counter that is that because Zazas burned the skill 2 from Juno there, if he pushed the Pontos up, then Pontos would have used it. Juno could have skill 2'd, hopefully stripped the immunity and the invincibility. It's all like hearsay at this point, but like I would like to see that path, because Zazas definitely, got rid of all the gas in his tank to set up for that Nefties.
Yep, for sure. Pre-bans this match. The Akroma's in the pre-ban this time, so not available for Zazas. We've got the Wateryu Moore making his way into the pre-ban as well. Chandra as a first pick for Mendita, and it looks like Zazas is going to be looking at turn 1. He locks in a 33 speed lead in the very fast segment.
Whoa, decided Cigar was not fast enough for the job. We're looking for a redo. Got to get turn 1 guaranteed again, and Sekhmet's a good way to do that.
I think the Cigar definitely would have been fine if he went that route there, because he is 33 speed lead. Cigar, with Mendita's showing, well, now that he's showing Nikki and Masha, Cigar's looking great, so I guess hindsight is king. But the Sekhmet, definitely a fair unit. I love the Sekhmet. I think it's a very good pick for him. I love that Zazas just totally changed. We went from 33 speed lead turn 1 unit into, yo, I'm backing it up, turn 2, Wusa and Camilla.
Yeah, the Wusa and Camilla that's a really good point there, Stoic, because it is the great picks, but slightly counter to what Zazas was presenting a second ago. Mendieta quick to lock down 2 strip options to take out the immunity from Wusa, so he's not forced to ban it.
Yep, love the Juno. It's great when you see a Curse the Beautiful hit the field from that Neftis. Obviously, when Zazas using second skill, he wants to land the slows, the freezes. Juno, not someone that really cares too much about that. It is a good amount of damage, the water unit hitting the fire unit.
I'm not sure about the Verd. Not sure about the Verd, because Masha is primed to take it out, and also it cycles the team out of the immunity that Wusa's putting up faster.
I think the Verd is a telltale that Masha's getting the ban. You lock in a Verd as your last pick, you're letting a Chungpong and a Nikki through. Ooh.
Okay, so there we go. So interesting lineup here. I think Zazas is a little bit fortunate that the Wusa got the ban, because like we said, now he's not going to be cycling his units out of the immunity. But that Masha, like you said, Stoic, it's really dangerous up against Verd. It loves to eat Verds for breakfast.
It really does. Let's see what happens. You're looking at a third skill going out, and the Nikki receiving it as well. Beautiful freeze and additional turn. He's just going to keep pumping that damage on top of the Nikki. Nikki being such an amazing unit to have to deal with. Oh my God, you have to go for it. Oh, you went for second skill, looking to glance up a anything, and only getting a glance on the Camilla. Oh, that's huge!
My
Did he get the kill?
Oh, no, he didn't get the kill. He's going to get a little bit more value out of this Verd.
Oh, that is so perfect for Mendita here, is that he's got this popping off. So he's got to go and hug up his Nikki, who's getting a lot of attention right now. He can go ahead and AoE, looking for Despair Stuns on top of the Oliver and Camilla. He will be dropping the Verd, which is very fortunate here for Mendita.
Uh-oh, this is a lot of value that's compounding here for Mendieta. I think the Chandra's offering a lot in terms of value in protecting the Nikki. He's got the option for the stuns that can come out from it. We're going to have to do some work if you're Zazas. We're going to have to do some serious work to get this W.
Yeah, Zazas, I think, should have went after this Masha. I'm sorry, the Chungpong. I think he could have taken the Chungpong out here, because you don't want a chance that Nikki's able to get the skills back up. So either he pushes the reset or takes out this Chungpong, and he looks like he's going to be taking out the Chungpong, and that's definitely a good call.
Yeah, there you go. So you can take it out with the Camilla in a moment, and he locks down the cooldown times at the Chandra. Comes Masha to clean that up, and it's suddenly all on Camilla and Oliver to make this happen. This is actually, this is going to be pretty hard for Masha now. Zazas really cleaned this up.
It really is. Nice additional turns, though, coming out of the Masha. He's really trying to keep himself alive. Big additional damage. No additional turn coming out of Nikki. Nikki's still holding on, and Oliver is going to be dropping. Masha's still proccing.
Uh-oh. Yeah, Masha can't stop. She could double crit and get some serious damage here. She just got 3 turns in a row, Stoic.
3 turns. That's a very fast Masha.
She might do it again.
This, Camilla. There's no way this is going to happen, but there's still a lot of damage. A lot of turns Masha's able to take. Okay, there you go. Finally proccing against the proc E Masha. So well done. I think Camilla sends it home right here. But that's
but
crazy. That was a lot of turns coming from
That
Masha.
was a lot of turns, dude. She took 3 turns in a row. Masha's today have just been popping off. I think that, I think they've got the most procs logged of any monster we've seen today. There we go, Zazas with a little bit of a dicey last game, but a stellar showing. Zazas moves forward.
Yeah, definitely coming down to the wire there. So, I think everybody was on the edge of their seat for that match where, Menditas almost was able to lock it in there. So good for him playing up against such a monster as Zazas is.
Yeah, is anybody else sweating? That was a crazy game, dude. That was pretty fun. It definitely got a little bit scary. I think Chandra contributed quite a bit actually defending Nikki. That's the only reason Nikki even got to the point that she was at in the game. That was, the only reason she was there at the end. Oh, you remember this game? The triple Valkyries drafted, 2 making it in.
Yep. Camilla just been such a performer here for Zazas. Now, obviously, in that last match, there's a lot that Mendita really needed to help take down a Camilla. So, Camilla is definitely something that, was going to pretty much finish off the rest of that match. But Camilla's been an amazing pick for Zazas. And I'm curious if any of the competitors are paying attention to that. Maybe, stopping that unit from being in his hands or taking it away or pre-banning it potentially. Because when Zazas is looking at a turn 2 team, that's a unit that's performing phenomenally for him.
Yeah, and there was that moment that we talked about. The Pontos procced, got a lot of invincibility, immunity. I mean, that's why you bring him, though. To be honest, it's that's why you bring a Pontos, and that's why you ruin him on Violent, because it's kind of like a Veligul in that way. It provides a ton of value when you proc out of a stun. The 3 units I can think of that kind of offer that similar value would probably be Veligul, Pontos, and Lima.
Yeah, any unit that has a cleanse, majority of time, it's probably going to be on a Violent set and super viable on a Nemesis set where your Violent Nem, whether, you're getting hit and you're proccing into it or you're getting your Nemesis proc into, cleansing up. So definitely a unit to no surprise to see have a moment like that where it gets the holy ground and then you're able to swing a match from there out.
Look at that. We've populated the quarterfinals bracket right now, Stoic. We've got Jeff Bulladell, we got Big V, and then we have True Whale versus Zazas. This is crazy, by the way. These names are just so huge. I love seeing this America's Summit, and I can't wait to see some of these new players that have won my heart in the bottom bracket in a little bit. I'm really looking forward to watching Rhino play again, seeing him up against Ray. It's going to be awesome. And then Thompson versus Mendieta.
Yep, and this is the first time these players are actually seeing each other. We have someone from the Latin American side of things and the North American side of things where it's Rhino versus Ray DeLo, Thompson versus Mendita. These players have not been able to play each other during our Wednesday rooms. So here they are. This is the first time they get to play against each other, and it's going to be exciting, I don't think. Well, maybe Ray DeLo is familiar with Rhino, seeing him on Twitch, popping into some of the streams and seeing this turn 1 player. But this is where you get to see those pre-bans be a little iffy, where it's oh, why would they pre-ban that when hopefully they paid attention to their matches before, and we'll see what happens.
Awesome, everybody. This has been a really exciting first round of the tournament. We're going into the bottom bracket next. We still got the quarterfinals through the rest of the tournament to look forward to. We're going to be going to a quick break, and then we'll be right back. See you all right back here soon. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the March monthly trial for the 2024 America Summit. It's still Evan here, as well as Stoic. What's up, Stoic?
What's going on, guys? We're back, and we're looking at the bottom bracket right now. Clearly, we've seen some insane players, insane matches today, and it's not over for any of those guys here, because they've been bumped down here, and they're still going to be competing for their Summoners points.
Which I'm so happy about, man, because I wasn't done seeing these players play. I want to see more of everybody that's represented here. Really looking forward to Ray versus Rhino. Rhino won my heart with that Mi Yang pick along with Shizuka and Shiho, so I'm excited to see what else he wants to bring.
Yep, most definitely. So, I mean, we've got Ray Delo, we've got Rhino. You know, Rhino had a bit of a showing here in his very first match where I would say predictability was a bit of the problem. I don't think that's going to be the issue as we get into Ray Delo here. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, we'll see how he wants to tackle this one right here. I'm excited to see what he brings to the game now that I want to see Mi Yang make it back through. I didn't actually get this out in the game, Stoic, but I'm kind of in the camp of I'd like to see Mi Yang buff to have the same base speed as Yanhong, so she becomes like a farmable water Yanhong.
Woof. Oh man, Evan, the thing
is that a hot take?
That's a whew, all right. You know. Okay, that would be that'd be crazy. You know, that'd be quite the unit if it had that kind of base speed.
It is nuts because she's got a guild speed lead too. So, you know, saying that is like, you know, she's basically guaranteed to get turn 1 in guilds now. But, you know, to me, it's like, I don't know, man. I'm thinking RTA here. I think having a farmable Yanhong would be so sick.
That hot take, Evan. Hot take. I don't know. That'd be interesting. You know what? Maybe that's the kind of things that really shake things up and get us to, you know, stat in a different route. You know, maybe that's the shakeup that we need.
Maybe that's what we needed on the balance patch. Maybe we needed something like that.
Potentially. But let's see what's going to be happening here. We've got Rhino, we've got Ray Delo, and we've got pre-bans coming in right here.
And we got Hagang and a Draco, which marks the second appearance of a Draco in the pre-ban phase. It seems like everybody kind of knows what Rhino's trying to present. We know, like you said, Stoic, Rhino likes to bring that sort of cleave play style, even in the tournament setting.
Exactly, and I'm kind of hoping that Rhino's got something else in store. He's got like this bruiserous turn 2 nonsense that can happen here. Now, he is getting his Vanessa. We saw this before. We knew this Vanessa to be very, very fast. Of course, Ethna coming in, we've seen the kind of damage during our Wednesday streams, knowing that this Ethna will hit very hard. We've got a 24 speed lead for Ray Delo, offering his Masha, and Masha's had such a great performance. Honestly, one of the more profound units we've had in today's tournament so far.
So true. I think if there was an MVP of today, actually, I think it might be Masha. He's bringing the Mi Yang back, baby. I love it.
Oh, and I feel like that Miying is just screaming the Water Monkey last pick here, and I wonder if Ray Delo's going to see that and draft accordingly, where Diana was the last pick from, you know, the, I forget who, a Big V, when he played up against Big V, and Diana was an excellent last pick against Rhino.
That's a super good call there, Stoic. If Ray can pull that from the ether and go for like a wind. Oh my God.
There it is.
Oh my God!
You can definitely tell Ray Delo is paying attention. He watched the previous matches. He knew that was going to be coming out here. Now, of course, Rhino can still lock in the Water Monkey, but that is screaming the ban. Even though I kind of think Diana's screaming the ban right now.
Yeah, even now, I think Diana's plenty. You know, she's going to get she's going to get turn cycling from Ethna's skill 2 as well. She can get boosted up. Yeah, I think Rhino's got to make a big choice here. Does he want to carry it? He carries on with the plan. We are undeterred.
So Ray Delo should read into this right now, knowing as Diana's probably going to get banned out here, offering, you know, you could probably ban out either the Water Monkey King, ban out the Mi Yang. You're probably banning out the Water Monkey King, where Diana is. I can't help but see this Diana getting banned out.
I don't think there's a world where it doesn't. It's got to. But players they're thinking a long time for bans that to me seem like they're pretty cut and dry. So let's see how it goes. We're down to the wire. Are those?
Wow.
Wow. Okay.
Not at all what I expected to see here. So Shizuka gets the ban. Obviously, it's a unit that is a little bit troublesome. Only the Miying is there to like kind of offer like the counter ability for Shizuka, but Shizuka still, it's a good ban. I just think Diana's going to be a bit of a problem, but I don't think Rhino thinks so. So the defense break lands. He does go with the skill 2, like you said. Diana looking super low, does get the heal coming from the Abelio.
This is what I'm talking about, man. We're getting a second chance at like what we were hoping would happen when Rhino was up against Big V. Oh, and a very similar situation is playing out with the Moth proccing to confirm the kill on the Etna, thus proccing the third skill from Vanessa. Oh, man. So now we just got to go.
Is this going to be enough, though? It is enough. And the additional turns coming out here. Beautiful skill, too, setting up more defense breaks. Water Monkey King. I was going to say Water Monkey King needs to pop off here, but does get stunned up here. Despair stun, more importantly.
Oh, and now he goes in for the kill on the Shiho. Thank goodness we got that glancing debuff on. If you're Rhino, you're thanking it right now. Ray is sticking around, and there's still game to be had here, especially when Masha's working for you this hard.
Oh my god. Crit's the opposite element. What were we talking about with Masha being able to do this? She does not care about your element. Gets the crit, gets the defense break, eliminates the Water Monkey King there. We've got Ethna looking really, really low right now, so it can drop pretty easy. We know the third skill is down on the Vanessa.
Yeah, again, this is just going back and forth, trading hands with who's in the lead right now. Neither player is like a shoo-in for the victory just yet. We know that Ray is down a monster, that's clear to see, but they're two very good monsters for this situation.
Yep, it really is. This is a lot of damage coming out of this Ethna. He needs to drop the Abelio and does so. Rhino looking to get this win over Dello with a big skill too coming from that Mi Ying.
Rhino did such a great job. I love seeing the return of the strategy, being undeterred, but even being presented with Diana. He didn't see it as a threat. He saw it as an opportunity to redo what happened in his game against Big V. I love that.
Yeah, definitely a different draft for Ray DeLo compared to Big V, so I really did like the Diana pick here, but obviously Rhino did exactly what he needed to, getting rid of that unit. Holy cow, like I feel like Ethna was an MVP here for Rhino.
It was, in the same sense that I think the Masha was still really good. I think Abelio did do a good job at the very beginning where he cut in to kind of, say Rhino take a step back. He did save Diana from that initial burst. He just didn't scale very well into the late game, but,
Yeah, exactly. But all right, we're getting into a round 2 here. Pre-bans, the Hey Gang, and I missed that other unit are now available. New pre-bans getting locked in here. Yeah, he doesn't want that Ethna. Ethna was so nice in that previous match here, and more Water Ryu is going to get pre-banned as well.
Yeah, I wouldn't want that. I wouldn't want that Ethna within 2 miles of me after that game. Rhino finally gets the Draco in his draft, and Ray quickly locks in the Masha that loves to proc so much today.
So I think Ray DeLo needs to know that talisman is definitely going to be coming here. And I think that's kind of what this Nana is showing right now. So a lot of people will draft an early Nana. And for me, when I see that, it's someone understanding like, all right, I'm going to lose a unit very quickly and I need to do something afterwards. So talisman's coming in for Rhino. He's going to draft one more unit here, and it is going to be the Shizuka.
You shouted it out, but Ray's done a really good job pivoting against Rhino's cleave comp here, already preemptively bringing a monster that in a way dodges death by dismounting Nana that can revive, because we saw Rhino take this similar approach the first time where he started off with a certain draft, and then once he got his Draco back, that's when we saw the cleave comp unlocked.
Yep, exactly. Let's see what Rado is going to be wrapping up his draft here. He's got the Wajet locked in. He's got a 24 speed lead. He's going to bring in the Chung Pung as well. Let's see if the 24 speed lead Chung Pung is enough to keep this cleave back here. But keep in mind, this is a very fast team coming from Rhino. We know the Draco is going to be fast. We know the Vanessa is very fast as well. He doesn't have an additional speed lead. Let's keep that in mind as well. So if this Vanessa does get banned out here, I want to say, like, you can't help but look at, a fast Draco with no speed lead versus a Wajet team, being the only speed lead here.
I'm glad that Ray sort of is reconsidering the Hagang. Normally, I love Hagang in practically any draft, but there's not enough strip being presented here for him to really be a factor.
Yeah, for sure. Let's see what this last pick is, and it is going to be the Hagang. I don't think the Hagang takes Ray Delo's team into the Beyonder here. But it is going to soak up the ban. All right, well, I didn't think the Hagang personally was going to be that good, but good enough that he didn't want to have to deal with it here. So Vanessa going to be taking turn 1, or I believe the Vanessa's faster than his Draco. No, the Draco's faster than Vanessa. All right.
I suppose Rhino did have a couple single target, strip options too between Vanessa and that, but to me it's like, I still think there are others. Regardless, we're in the game now, and he gets a clutch stun on Masha. Exactly what you love to see from your Shiho. And he's going for broke with the stuns on the Chungpung. He goes for it. I love that.
Definitely, you want to throw that down there and get the stun and keep Chungpung back from doing anything here.
Oh my goodness, look at all the buffs here, Stoic. And now, remember that Shiho did just get his skill cooldown time reduced.
Oh,
there's that Chungpung with a big skill too. Make it all
Being
go away.
That consistent. I can't believe Chungpung was that consistent to nail absolutely everything. That is wild to see that.
I've never seen a Chungpung hit everything so consistently like that. That's a 75% chance to activate.
And he nailed it with the serious matter coming out on top with Masha eliminating the Vanessa. I didn't actually see Ray Dello taking this match here. I thought Rhino was going to get his bread and butter in here. I thought he was going to work his way through here. But that Chungpung landing that massive skill 2 won the entire thing.
That was a huge proc. That was a huge wake up into strip. 75% chance to make that happen before you even check accuracy resistance. So that was definitely that Chungpung really wanted to win that game right there.
Really, really did.
I wish my Chungpung was that motivated, dude.
I think everybody wishes their Chungpung was that motivated and did that and performed exactly as Ray Delo's did. I'm sure Ray Delo is surprised after seeing that skill 2 go down. That was wild.
Yeah, and I can't even say, Rhino did his best to try to lock that down too. He even went for skill 1 with Shiho, got the stun with the skill 3 from Shizuka. He pretty much did everything in his power to stop that from happening. I think it just comes down to, we talked about the bans, the pick ban phase, right? Hagang has a 100% activation rate on his strip, but I think maybe if we had gone for like the defense break on the wedge at instead, not strip anything, I think we probably could have had a decent game like that.
Yep. Well, Ethna and the Moor/Water Ryu is going to be available as we get into our final match between Ray Delo and Rhino. And we know the Ethna, it's a very, very good unit in Rhino's hands, so he's going to be happy to get that here. Douglas, that is interesting. When you see a Douglas in the pre-ban, you kind of know the direction someone's going to draft if they don't want to see a Douglas.
I'm predicting like a wind robo, like AoE wind units, something like the Chungpung that just makes stuff happen is coming back.
Yep, exactly. And I feel like Rhino's got to be prepared for that Chungpung because that Chungpung's coming back whether he likes it or not. Mosh is an excellent pick here. Wind robo, Dak robo. All the robos are super viable right here for Ray Delo.
Yeah, he went to all that effort to pre-ban the Douglas. You'd think he'd want to take advantage of it.
I feel like he doesn't want to show too many of his cards here and keep him guessing because I feel like this also benefits Rhino, you know what I mean, by going with a Shizuka here, offering like he can kind of predict what these next 2 units are. Could be the Dak Robo, could be the Chungpung, wrapping up Ray Delo's draft here. And then Rhino can play accordingly, but it looks like Rhino's kind of sticking to his guns right now. We're going to see the Talisman come back, a turn 1 unit like Escher. This is definitely something that Ray Delo probably can already sense, so the same way that we were sensing what Ray Delo might wrap up his draft here, and he goes a different direction, and I love it. Like, why was Douglas banned in the first place?
Yeah, I don't know. It's all
so
water
funny.
and everything except for like Shizuka can take down a Douglas at 10 paces. Like this is a crazy draft right now. Yeah. He clearly had a different plan in mind. Like I think we were going to see something after the Moor, and but Ray just pivoted so well. I would love to see the Talisman actually take a turn in game. I actually don't think we've seen it actually make it into a game yet, and if we have, it hasn't taken a turn.
We've only seen it on a Wednesday, and the Talisman offers a ton of damage, usually fit to kill whatever it's trying to hit here. But we haven't yet seen it do anything at all in today's summit.
There's a good pre-ban good post-ban on the Shimite. It's a good last pick from Rhino.
Yep, let's see what happens because we're getting into our match number 3. This is the final match for Rhino and Ray Delo. So we'll see what's going to be happening here with the third skill. Looking for a strip here, not receiving on top of the Shizuka. Draco's going to be boosting up his team, getting a speed buff on top of that Talisman.
Let's see, goes for the clean strip on the Masha. Here comes the Talisman. Big damage. That's going to dismount the Masha, give more a turn, and also proc Samath's passive. It's a lot of triggers after that.
There. Oh, is this second skill enough to drop everything?
Oh
Holy
my God.
cow. That was so much damage. I mean, this is why Rhino did so well during the Wednesdays is look how quick this match was, and he's able to get so many matches in the Wednesdays, accumulate so many points. So well done, Rhino, getting a couple Summoners points here. This is awesome for him to, he's on the map now for getting his points in.
Oh yeah, Rhino did a super great job on that one. Got to show us a little bit of everything. I love that he brought back that super fun, the combo that he presented earlier that didn't get a chance to shine, and then we got to see Talisman pop off. That was awesome. Great job, Rhino.
Yeah, super, super cool match there. We got to see the bread and butter finally work for Rhino. So good to see that. Awesome matches. This is a great little matchup here. Ray Dillo showing that he was, doing his homework. He paid attention to the previous matches with Big V and Rhino here. So I feel like I wouldn't count anything that Ray Dillo did in his matches to maybe do better next time, or something to learn from. I think both players played really, really well. But ultimately, Rhino is just such a fast player for Ray Dillo to deal with.
Oh yeah. I totally agree with that. It was a good round one. It was a good round two. And yeah, I think Ray was also a new favorite of mine. I liked watching his play style too, and I think he adapted well too. I liked seeing the monsters that he decided to bring on. He really caught on to what Rhino was trying to do, drafting a Nana early. And then in the last one too, when he banned out the Douglas, and he was like, well, you know what? I'm going to pivot because I see what you're doing, and I'm just going to pick something that's generally good against all of it,
Yeah, potentially that's kind of what might have been the downfall is that pre-ban, because hindsight's always 2020. It's really tough to look at this and to say that, but the Douglas was just not something that I think Ray Dillo was even afraid of when he drafted so water heavy anyways. But the draft style to what Rhino was even playing, I feel like if Douglas was something on the field, Rhino probably doesn't care too much about Douglas being left on the field anyways. I think he's prepared for it. He's got stuff built to have to deal with the Douglas in the first place. So maybe in the pre-ban is kind of where things went wrong for Ray Dillo, where he could have pre-banned something a little bit more impactful against his opponent.
Yeah, I think that's a really good point there, Stoic. And now we're going into our next bottom bracket game, Thompson versus Mendieta.
Yep, this is gonna be another interesting match here. We talked about Thompson versus Truewill, both players having so much at their in their boxes here. In the Mendieta with I believe it was Wedget and a Nephthys, I think, were his two LDs that he has already showed. Pontos right. And a Nephthys. Or is it Pontos? It was one of those.
I believe you're right. We've seen a lot of games today, so some of the minutiae is slipping away from me. We're going to find out. We're going to get that confirmation right now. We're going to the pre-bans already. Mendieta versus Thompson.
Yep, pre-ban's going to get locked in right here. Might I add here, this is a conversation that me and you had before, Evan. Waika's mentioning the Tableau shirts, not the Morris shirts, the Tableau shirts.
Not the Morris shirts. Not the Morris shirts. Is Waika? Hey, what's up, Waikas? How's it going? What's going on, dude?
Oh, there you go. So the pre-bans are locked in. So it was Pontos and Nikki, because Thompson's banning out the Nikki here and not a Nephthys. So it was a Pontos Nikki coming from Mendietas, and Wajet getting pre-banned by Mendietas. First pick is going to be Moore/Water Ryu.
Nice first pick. We talked about the memes. We talked about the memes already, and it's totally worth it. Moore has been a solid first pick option for many a season by this point. The dude has just managed to stay relevant for so long.
Oh, for sure. Ciara and Laura as the first picks for Thompson here. Obviously 24 speed lead. We know Ciara to do a lot of damage. We love that buff that she had received on her third skill. It really put her back into the limelight that, she was not being drafted for so long as a 24 speed lead, but that buff to third skill has just been super, super impactful.
Yeah, it's fun to see her come back, man. Again, it's we talked about Moore. Moore's been around for 4 years now. Ciara's been around for way longer than that, and she's still getting picked first by Thompson right now. And all it took was a little change on that skill 3.
Masha's getting drafted, and we see the Pontos. I can't help but think, is there a Ada on the Beyonder for Thompson here if Mendietas chooses to draft a little bit more crit here too? Something to really shut down all the damage from the Masha. Personally, I don't want to see the Ada, but there is a world that we do see that depending on what Mienta wraps up his draft with.
It definitely could be that way. I'm a little afraid of an Arda draft here only because we got bombs presented, we got Death Break, we have the stun from Laura, so I'm with you. I think there are better options, but I wouldn't, Arda would be kind of cool.
Yeah, I don't want to see the Ada right now. I feel like there's not enough come to the table that would really capitalize on it. Honestly, I kind of like to see a Masha ban, and you just kind of like bruiser things out here.
If he banned Masha, I could be down for the Arda. If he banned,
There's
maybe.
two
You know,
scripts on the field for Thompson right now. He has the Laura, he has the Juno. I don't see the Pontos being the unit to really carry things home. I think that's a great pick.
You know what? I think it's also
man.
more neutral and like generally like as a blanket better in this situation than the Arda would have been. But I you know, could have been fun.
Yep, I agree. So let's see what the brands are. Like I said, I feel like I like seeing a Masha ban. Just eliminate all the damage, the volatile. Yeah, there it is. Like the one thing that kind of keeps things going in Dacto Kebulord. Like it's very clear why this unit's getting banned out. Such a solid pick here to wrap up the draft.
Okay, let's see how this goes. We've got Thompson likely taking turn 1 with the Laura, boosted by a 24 speed lead. The only thing is, we could see the Hagang inadvertently boost somebody, but instead uses skill 2 to try to get a stun, only rewarded on Cigar.
Yep, he's not looking to proc that Hagang at all. So let's see what happens. So a couple things, luckily, we're off of Will for Thompson's sake here. Holy Ground's got to happen. He's got to throw down that Holy Ground. He needs to protect himself from CR, who is going to be taking next turn there.
Oh, it's so awkward though too, Stoic, on the downside here, because
You could see Juno use that skill 2 and strip everything. There's a world where he loses every... Oh, he's got to reset. Mendieta's got to reset with the Cigar right now, otherwise he loses everything. And it's resisted.
Wow, did get resisted here. It is provoked, though. Will cleanse up and heal up a lot for his Juno here.
And Ciara hates looking at teams that are this protected. She had nothing to do. There's the Juno getting the turn. Only 50% stripped, though.
Yeah, he has to land that provoke on the Ciara. Does get it. Now, we do have a glancing signal on top of that Han, which is very fortunate for Mendieta as well.
Oh, wow. He's going to get some value. Pontos just accidentally procced himself out of that immunity, though.
Yep, for sure. No additional turns coming out of CR. We're going to see that third skill happening right now. A lot of additional damage. Pontos, keep in mind, Holy Ground's coming. Whether Thompson likes it or not, there is a Holy Ground here. He needs to get whatever damage he can, any despair stuns if that's possible. There it is. The Holy Ground's coming out here. This is built on Nemesis, might we add.
Oh no, and he just used the skill 3 from the Laura.
We're in it for the long haul here. He's got to cycle back to Juno to get that skill 2. We'll see if she can do a little bit better than just 50% return.
Yep, the additional turns. Not what he's looking for on CR right now, because obviously everybody's going to be protected. I don't believe we've got any strips available, whether it's on the Laura or the Juno here.
I think I'm afraid you may be right.
We're going to see in a second here.
It's not. Yeah, you're super right. It's not over though.
You know, obviously Mendieta gets a little bit of a window where he can kind of explore some options for doing chip damage on the Ciara and eventually take down the Han. But it's not an immediate loss for Thompson at all. He still has time to try to come back from this if he can just find that moment to strip with Juno.
Yep, exactly. And he's going to get that strip up with Juno coming soon. It's going to heal himself up here. There is some problematic units for Mendieta to have to deal with. And I mean, Han's still looking super healthy. He's putting so much effort. It was where he was lacking damage. He has like that control to kind of keep things alive here. No stuns are coming out of Thompson with that lower second skill though.
No. Also, good patience right there, too, from Mendieta, putting the skill 2 on the Han, thinking ahead, knowing that he can take down the Ciara, and that he just needs to kind of take away any sources of volatility from Thompson.
Yep, and Ciara soaked up a lot of those procs here. That's a beautiful Despair Sun sitting on top of the Han, so more than likely we're probably not going to be seeing this Han Violent here, because Ciara would just seem to proc a lot and soak up all those procs, so... we're looking at the focus right now going on to the Han. So we already know that Juno is going to be a problem for him. I think Hagang's still super strong to deal with the Juno, unless, of course, it's Despair Stunning the Juno, which is not what Mendieta wants to see.
Yep, and now we're in a position where Juno could actually contribute to a win here for Thompson.
Oh,
getting
my God.
rid of the Pontos was the big thing. A proc from the Han.
Beautiful proc there, and that's kind of what wrapped it up right there. So getting that proc, you know, wasn't the game-changing moment, but it was all the additional damage that we saw from the Laura, because it put everybody so low that Mendieta's ran out of gas. So again, this came down to not having the damage to go up against Thompson's team. And Thompson just, you know, he couldn't find a window to make the Ciara work, but I feel like CR was so thick, where a lot of CRs are built on damage and you deal with these units very quickly. Mendietes was not able to deal with that CR quick enough, because if the CR was any squishier, he would have already moved on to the Han, and CR would have been gone and done for.
Yes, exactly. I think that's a super good point there, Stoic, because, you put that positive spin on it and you look objectively what happened in the game. What happened is Mendieta had to soak a ton of turns into taking out that Ciara, and he couldn't effectively dispatch it quickly. And so he couldn't move on to Han, like you said. I think that's really well done. Thompson essentially had two win conditions that game. It was either find a window to strip everything with Juno or Laura, or to just do enough additional damage to whittle down the Pontos.
Yeah, that's right. Let's see what this first pick for Thompson is. Mendietes does not want to play against that Laura again. The Laura offering so much additional damage with that third skill. There's just not much you can do about that.
No, and here we go. Oliver locked down for Thompson.
Okay, Oliver, 33 speed lead, locking it in here. Like we've talked about Oliver before, I think Oliver's fantastic for when you get to bring in like outspeed control teams where you can really synergize and capitalize on what this unit actually does. I wouldn't mind seeing a Hagang right now for Thompson dropping that in. Oh, holy crap. He's going to flip the switch on him. You go from like what I was just saying with Oliver and offering a speed lead to really capitalize on a control team. And then we just get the total opposite where we're Dactyl Ragdoll now.
Yeah, and Mendieta kind of plays into it with another AoE in Chungpong and then Nikki. That's a lot of crits. There's a little bit of healing in there too. No way.
Holy
He is representing a team that you could do here, Stoic.
Who's playing? Is this me or is this Thompson?
This looks like something you'd draft without the Oliver.
I know. I don't know what my draft's with Oliver whatsoever, but it's so funny to see Jackson here with these other units here. That's so funny. It's exactly what I draft here. Oh my god, and I know for a fact I usually ban out Arika if Arika's going to be the last pick here, so let's see what happens. I do think Rika does get the ban. Does Ada receive the ban, or with all this attack bar pushback, do you ban out the Jackson?
It's real. I think maybe Jackson could soak the ban. You got Masha who does it. You got Moore who does it. A Chungpong. No, not Gap
soaking the ban. That's so weird. All right, this is super fortunate for Thompson. I think. I feel like he's got a well-oiled machine. We do have to deal with this Rika. I think Rika is going to be problematic for Thompson's team. We'll see what happens, because I do think Mendita definitely not out of it. Obviously, we got a lot of LDs on one side of the field here, but Rika definitely a problem.
Strip and stun on the Rika. So far, things are going well for Thompson. He's geared up to increase the cooldown time on the Rika with the Oliver. We just know that... Oh, and he gets to strip into the stun on Chungpong. Things are looking good. 100% res Rika. Oh,
Let's also keep in mind how fast this Ada actually was. Because right after the Jackson went, it wasn't the Oliver, it wasn't anything else. It was Ada. So this is a very fast despair set that he's running right now.
That's a good point. I almost missed out on that, actually. Yeah, he's incredibly fast.
This Chungpong cannot catch a break.
No, not at all. But Ragdoll takes huge damage. This additional damage from the third skill is probably going to be enough to finish off the Ragdoll. No, it will drop to the dots here. Now, this is not a violent build on the Ada where you get to really take advantage of that low cooldown in the new balance patch that we had. Ada does have that skill up more often. But Ragdoll is going to be dropping right here to all of those dots. So no sense in putting that damage into the Ragdoll.
Yo, credit where it's due. That Masha dealt insane damage to the Ragdoll, by the way.
Yep. Very, very big damage here. Looking for a full team stun. Does get that with the Rika as well. Whew. Well done, Menditas. I knew the Rika was definitely going to be a problem unit for him to deal with.
Yeah, and typically since Rikas are built on 100% res as well, it can be hard to reset. The dream was there, and I thought for a second that Thompson had it, considering he got the strip. But maybe it was a sign when the stun didn't come out too. So those are the pre-bans from last round. We got Cigar and Laura that are both back on the table.
Yep, there we go. Both Laura and Cigar, like you said, back on the table. New pre-bans getting locked in right. I always say this is like anybody that I feel like are playing like me, I don't perform well. I can't help but feel like I lose this, But Rika was a brilliant last pick. There's a reason why Rika's one of the best fifth picks, and not the best fifth picks in general, but like in the situation, being a fifth pick, Rika's devastating.
Oh yeah, I agree with you. I even agree with the previous statement. I think she is one of the best 5th picks in the game. When you see that your opponent doesn't draft immunity, like, slamming down Eureka is so effective.
Yep. Here's a playstyle that I definitely prefer for Thompson. He's locking in the Nephthys, he's locking in the lore. We've seen this before from him. Mendita's locking in a 24 speed lead as well. Let's see what happens here. And he's going to lock in the 33 speed lead with the Masha, so Mendita definitely ready to try to compete for turn 1.
Yeah, he wants to outspeed. We know what a threat that Masha can be. It's also a relatively decent answer to the Nephthys too, considering it can apply immunity. So we'll see just how committed Mendieta is to this. Maybe Laura might end up soaking the ban if he really wants to outspeed.
Yep, we'll find out here. These next 2 picks here. I can't help but always think like potential Han to synergize with other deck units here. Gapsu and Ragdoll. This is totally fine. We've seen plenty of this before. Gapsu Ragdoll, very, very strong comp. If people want to play turn 1, they're very, very tough to deal with. And Mendieta is looking to wrap up after seeing these 2 picks here. So definitely some troublesome units for Mendieta's to have to deal with the Ragdoll and the Gapsu.
Yeah, now Thompson wants to start fast, lock down the enemy team, and then accrue value. That's our goal today. Mendieta threatening to speed up this game, drafting the Fire Cassandra with huge ignore defense damage. Combine that with Masha's skill too, and he is absolutely saying, I'm going to snipe.
Yeah, Sekhmet being a very good last pick here for Thompson, because we're looking at, oh no, I don't know. No, again. I hope he doesn't lock that in there. But I would love to see a Sekhmet as a last pick. I think that's great to control the Shizuka. It's great to control the Cassandra. I think that's really, really good. Juno being drafted here shows that Cassandra's probably not making it through. We don't mind a Masha when you have a Ragdoll on the field. So we'll see what happens here.
I'm scared of the Masha and of the Juno. Masha still is one of the best answers to Juno out there. She loves just preying on that typically not on will unit.
Yeah, definitely. So Ragdoll's going to get the ban. I definitely knew the Cassandra was going to be getting that ban here. I think Thompson's got a totally fine draft. Like it. He's prepared for anything that Shizuka's got in store for him. Obviously, let's see what happens, because Masha can do some crazy things.
Yes, if he can just open up the Masha, follow up with the Nephthys. Okay, he got step 1. Step 1 is complete. Just needs to do
not a lot of scripts there from the Moore either, so he is going to be doing that 3rd skill. He wants to get his team buffed up here. Everybody's going to get stunned up except that Nephthys. Pushing back the Gapsu is very, very important, so you're going to see a lot of focus going towards this unit.
Huge res, by the way, from the Juno in that case. Lets her survive another turn at least, so she doesn't immediately get that defense break.
Yep, looking for some big strips there. Does get the stun on the Masha. That's a very, very important unit for Thompson to have to do away with here. Nice that he got that 2nd skill up there, stunning absolutely nothing.
Absolutely nothing. Oh, man. Oliver going for round 2, doing what he can. Increases the cooldown time of the Nephthys. Oh, that's a big setback.
Yep, definitely a big setback indeed. We have a little bit of attack bar pushback, and he is going to be going towards this Juno. I think Juno's getting the full attention of Mendita's. I think Masha's, that's where the damage is going to be going right now. He wants to try to put away this unit. That's interesting. He chose to get the slow on top of the Gapsu, which is quite nice.
Yeah, the slow was a really good result from that. I could sense the hesitation was probably in trying to
Debate whether it was good to risk getting revenge procced and dismounted, or if he wanted Thompson to have to soak another turn into it.
You see if he gets the stun. Nice he does. Oh, this unit's so good.
Yeah, definitely some great sleeps that he got on it. But another additional turn is going to be coming out of this Oliver. Oliver's going to be pushing back attack bar, probably getting the reset on that Nephthys as well. He's got 2nd skill available. He can go right back onto like the Juno or anything that he wants to push back here. 2nd skill is going right back. He's going to give this right back to Oliver. He wants Oliver to keep pumping out skills.
This Oliver is like popping off. He is caffeinated, dude. He's bouncing off the walls. He cannot be kept down.
Yeah, everyone's still really healthy for Thompson. Like we said, this Dr. Kibulord, he is a problem. This is why he got banned in that 2nd match, because it's moments like this where he just seems so problematic.
True. Yeah, Thompson is looking really healthy, considering all the turns that Menzieta is soaking into all these units. Thompson is like above 70% across the board up until that last hit on Juno.
Yep, well, there's a speed buff on the Juno, and that's definitely going to be helping. I feel like you wake up the Juno and you try to strip, and he got both of those. So waking up, obviously, getting the strip more important.
That was a good call, because now she's going to heal slightly less, and you also might be able to take her out with the turn from the Masha, because now he cuts ahead. Great foresight from Mendieta.
Yep, for sure. Looking for the attack bar reduction on the Laura, not getting it though. He's trying to keep that Masha alive right now. Masha kind of what wins this match for Mendietas.
I'm telling you, Masha, MVP of the whole day.
The entire day, Masha's been a menace for absolutely everybody. Whether it's the additional turns or just being insane damage, not caring about elements, and the defense breaks have been insane for anybody drafting a Masha. That's a nice little additional turn, though, for Thompson. He needs to land the stun to keep himself alive in this match.
He did it. It isn't unwinnable. I mean, you look at this. Mendieta's low, right? And we've got Gap Goop. Like, Gap Goop could do it. Oh, uh-oh. Masha's got something to say.
Wow.
Takes him down to 1
Stayed
HP.
alive. Does have enough to take out the Masha, so it does only come down to the Nephthys. And we've got second skill. He could bring back that Masha. Masha, I believe, has second skill available. She will be back onto the beast, but it looks like he's going to keep his focus there on the Water Ryu. And he takes round number 3 and getting a 2-win victory over Thompson.
Wow. Mendieta did an incredible job up against one of the biggest names at the tournament right now. The Masha was just super effective against everybody. I can't ignore the Oliver, though, who managed to just, like I said, I called him caffeinated. He was bouncing off the walls. He kept resetting everybody. And as soon as it got down to just Nefties on the other side, it's like Oliver takes that 1v1 all day.
Yeah, definitely a well-drafted teams there. All 3 matches for Mendieta. We saw some turn 2, some turn 1 play from Thompson, but Mendieta, I think he just responded very, very well against anything Thompson had to bring.
Oh, yeah. He really made a name for himself here. I hope to see him at future monthly trials as well. We've talked about it earlier in today's tournament as well, but one of the cool things about the summit is that we can get new players each month, and Mendieta is one of the new faces in the monthly trials. Here we go in the replays here, Stoic. So we got round 1.
Yeah, so funny enough, like this round 1, it should have been the match that Mendieta's like won here, because he kind of shut down everything Thompson had to do. The one issue was just not bringing enough damage to the table, where Thompson just outlasted Mendietas in that first match here. And then in the second match, I feel like this was another great showing of Masha and a not so great showing of Ada. Even though it was a very fast Ada and we got some pretty good despair stuns, like potentially I think 2 despair stuns in there. But I feel like just Masha too good, you know? Oh, Rika, I'm
Masha
sorry,
real
Rika
good.
and the Masha.
And Rika real good, dude. I like all those stuns that came out from that unit. It's crazy. And Mendieta managed to pressure Thompson into a place where he kind of like got whatever he wanted. And in the sense that drafting Masha is similar in a result to drafting the Fire Cassandra, because they both put on that pressure. Just one is right away in a single turn, and Masha's over time.
Yeah, so going into this third match here, I feel like that last pick for me, I know the Juno was still a very good pick and it was a problem for Mendieta's to have to deal with, but at the same time, I feel like I would have preferred to see a segment start things off right with, you know, having the resets to handle the Shizuka, or if you chose to ban out the Shizuka and then deal with the Fire Cassandra, we could have brought that to stop like that strip coming out there. And then you had other options to deal with the Cassandra after that, now that it was reset. So, you know, maybe it could have been a draft issue, you know, wrapping up that third match there. But either way, Mendieta's played his match and he did phenomenal.
And I'm glad you brought that back up, too, because I think a Sekhmet, when you brought it up in the draft, would have been really cool.
Most definitely. I think it's a super good unit, offering so much utility, you know, not just strip, but a reset, and can be a very consistent strip if the reset doesn't even happen. So, you know, Sekhmet at the same time can be really, really cool to open up opportunities. And of course, Curse of the Beautiful is a pretty wild skill. We see it enough with Nephthys.
Oh, yeah, it's good enough to run a redundancy for, right? You run Nephthys and you have the Sekhmet to follow up, so that way you have 2 instances of one of the best second skills on your team right there. So now we're gonna have Ray versus Thompson in a tie-breaking
No breaks for
match.
Thompson here. He goes right into his next match, and we're getting into the pre-bans already with Ray DeLow taking the first pick here.
Yeah, Thompson's warmed up. Ray's had a little break in between matches. Thompson's warm and ready to go.
Yep, let's see what happens. Pre-ban's getting locked in here. Let's see what Ray is going to be prioritizing as bans as he goes up against Thompson, knowing there's so much on the table. Potentially just getting a Laura ban immediately.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. I think Laura is one of the most impressive monsters that Thompson's got in terms of speed. You know, it's hard to contest that. Basically, when you pick that Laura, you're guaranteed turn 1.
Oh, there it is. So the Laura is going to be the ban. Wedget getting the ban from Thompson. Ray Delo, what we talked about before, it was Wedget and Nikki, I believe, were Ray Delo's net fights we were showing.
I think that's right.
It's the Wedget and the Nikki.
Let's see what the first pick is. Is going to be a Moor/Water Ryu. Nice middle ground unit we keep talking about here. 24 speed lead, offering so much to a team.
Thompson may even want to snag that Nikki, actually. Out from
I can't
under
remember
him.
if Thompson has a Nikki or not. Maybe he does.
I thought he did, but I could be.
confused. And he's clearly showing that he really wants some crowd control. He's going to eventually have to bring a strip option with him too. He's now down essentially 3 with the Moor, the Chungpung, and the Laura. So we'll see what he can bring out of his box.
Yeah, I do believe the Moor, I know we can confirm that is off will. I'm pretty sure the Chungpung has will. Juno never having will, so you don't have to worry about that. So we will get a little bit of value out of the Zabala here.
Oh, and we know that he's also got the Amduat, now that I say that.
Which is kind of funny to consider that. It's not exactly a consistent strip, but, you know, that's an option. But you're right. There's not a whole lot to actually remove right now. Han and Dark Robo, such an aggressive set to pick here, and it's perfect for what Ray's presenting.
Well, we'll see, because Juno is actually very, very good to have on the field when they're going to be playing a Dark Robo. In my opinion, you're kind of already showing that Juno's on the table to potentially be getting banned out here, where Ray can now draft kind of accordingly, knowing that Juno might be the ban, so he can draft 2 units that make him want to think otherwise. So it's like you could have 3 units on the field that make Thompson worry about, like, crap, what do I actually ban now? So I kind of really, really like Ray Delo's draft. Dealing with the Shizuka is definitely problematic. We don't have another reset option on the field, minus the Zabal, of course.
I'm loving the Veramos, by the way. That Veramos last pick was such a great addition to Ray's team. Having a second option for what Juno's providing is great here. Now, you know, like you said, you know, Thompson's really got... Oh my God, the Beelzebub. No way.
Yeah, that's pretty nuts that we're going to be seeing a Beelzebub coming into the table here. This is high volatility. This is a lot of damage. Even like just a crazy revive comp that can happen here. That's nice to be paired up with a Han. That's quite nice. I like that a lot here. Let's see what happens with the bans here, because I feel like the bans could be almost anywhere.
Hey, they could. It
Depends what Ray wants, right? Do you ban out the dark speed lead in that damage, and leave the Beelzebub? Do you ban the Beelzebub? He chooses to take out the dark speed lead. I think that was a good choice, and I love seeing the respect put on the Veramos.
Most definitely. So it looks like Thompson definitely taking turn 1 here, but he needs to deal with this Juno, and he has to keep this Shizuka locked down.
Yeah, there's one window here, right, where he can take out the Juno. It's like right after Nefties applies the defense break, or if he can just get the Demon to move ahead of it. It looks like that option might be the one that he's going for. He's getting a little bit of additionals, right? Getting more damage in on the Juno. Now he can take it out pretty much. Is the defense break enough?
If he takes out the Juno here, this is looking really good for Thompson. You know, he doesn't have to worry about any sustain. He does! Big damage with the additional turn, looking to take out the Shizuka here. That's nice that he's able to provide something like that. Kind of crazy.
Oh yeah, and look at this. He almost took out a second unit with the skill 1 from the Demon.
So big little turnaround here. Big little turnaround here for the Shizuka, getting that 3rd skill. We've got a serious matter. It is glanced up, though. He's looking to push back as much attack bar with resets as possible here. I see some resistance popping up on the Zabala, though.
Unfortunately, just 1 increased cooldown time came out from that Chungpung. Man, that Dark Robo really opened it up for him at the start. That was a really, really effective way to start. Let's see what he can do.
Yep,
Anything he kills, it is going to... Beelzebub is waiting to come back.
Yes, he is. I mean, that's the scariest part, is like you just got rid of the Beelzebub, and nice additional turns coming from the Shizuka. Shizuka's really trying to keep Ray Delo's team alive here. But this Dark Demon, like, he just comes back at any time. You never know when he's lurking in the background.
It's scary. It really is scary. He reminds me of some other damage dealers that kind of make you reconsider the order, your threat assessment, the way that you normally take out the damage dealers, right? Like Julien is another one that I kind of put in that category.
He just comes back out of nowhere. It's like you weren't expecting it. And bam, there he is. He's slapping up. We're going to get the silence back out here. Nope, no, we're going to get absolutely nothing out here on that Water Ryu. So Water Ryu does take care of it, but again, like we're here, we're ready. Curse the Beautiful is going to be enough to drop that Water Ryu, and that's definitely going to be it for Ray Delo.
That was a tough one. That
match
Dark
number
Demon
one.
last pick was so effective from Thompson. That's the kind of hyper-aggressive draft I love to see from Thompson.
I know that's it. It was very, very aggressive, hyper aggressive. Just like you said, and that's the kind of Thompson that a lot of us do like to see. Because that's what you kind of expect for a player of his caliber to bring something like that to the table. So let's see what happens. We get into match number 2. Is Rhino going to adjust to that hyper aggressive play that Thompson brought in that first match?
I'm interested to see how he's going to do it. He might prioritize something like Vanessa. Might want to do the Nana. I don't think Nana's quite enough for this. We'll see if he takes it. Pre-bans go out, and the Nefties and the Moore are knocked out of this round.
Yep, that's right. Those are in the pre-ban. Thompson with the first pick here. He can't take the Moore. He already pre-banned it, which is something Ray Dillo seems to really prioritize in a lot of his drafts. His first place, it's going to be Laura. He's not taking anything away from his opponent.
Nice, the Hey Gang. That's a sick first pick when you're up against a Laura. Today's champion, the Masha, pseudo revive, right? If you kill her, she just gets dismounted, so I like that.
This is like the best opener anybody can pick. Like if you don't have turn 1, you get to pick the Hey Gang, you get to pick the... Oh my god, I was like, for the love of God, like, yes, it was in the balance patch. I was really hoping the Dark Devil Maiden was actually going to be something. The Liliana was going to be something. Liliana is so underwhelming.
It is. Even post-patch, speaking of things I saw on the subreddit semi-recently, saw post-patch Liliana, and it's still just a little too much chance involved. Not a lot of results, but I think it's one of the objectively coolest units in the game, but that doesn't necessarily translate to good.
Exactly. There's not many units that are like that Liliana. It's the first of its kind, and it's such a super, super cool unit. But, the coolness factor just doesn't make you viable, though.
Exactly. Whoa, nice little Mo-Long combo here for Thompson, who's threatening a win right now at game point.
Yep, that's right. Now, this playstyle kind of reminds you back in 2018 where you saw Wusa Mo-Long being teamed up, where Wusa provides enough sustain that you kind of get to pop off with your Mo-Long, but this Mo-Long also has the Dr. Kebi Lord, which is even more sustain on top of that. So I feel like right now we're just going to be banning out the Hey Gang, and then Thompson kind of gets to, play his match.
Yeah, and I actually like the Nana in this game, and apparently Thompson did too because he banned it. But because I didn't like the Nana into like the high power aggressive comp that Thompson was presenting before, where it's like a skill 1 can take out the unit that revived. But against something like this, where it's more about like a big skill 3 that has a long cooldown, I think she's better.
Yep. Well, let's see what happens. I think he's going to be holding on to that third skill once again, looking for a skill 2 stun just on the Tsarian to stop him from getting anything. It looks like he's just going to skill 1 into the Shizuka. Shizuka clearly showing it's the unit that he wants to deal with. And that second skill deals so much damage. He's able to drop that Shizuka right here.
That was so well done from Thompson. Hold back the strip, don't proc the Hey Gang, and just methodically take down the Shizuka. Well done.
Most definitely. So obviously we've got the Oblivion sitting on top of the Ragdoll right now, so any crits that this Mash is probably going to do are not going to accumulate in any attack bar whatsoever for Thompson.
Oh yeah. And if we know one thing, it's not over. Mosh is still here, and so is Tsarian. In some cases, that's all Ray could need to round this out. Look at that proc. She's moving.
Yeah, every additional turn I see from Masha, all I hear is it's not over yet every time.
Yeah. It's not over yet. Tsarian notably missing the Oblivion on the Gap Goop. Unfortunately, that is a little bit of a setback for Ray. That definitely would have helped because Gap Goop does cleanse 1 debuff on the start of this turn.
Yeah, looking for a defense break on top of the Tsarian and not getting it here. You got to be careful with this third skill. He's going to be going with the third skill anyways. It's going to be a lot of additional damage. Tsarian has been just under half here. Goes with the big second skill. Not getting a stun on top of the Tsarian.
Is that enough to kill the Gapsu? Not quite.
Oof, looking for that stun while the immunity is not up on this Masha here. Looking for a defense break finally, and does get it. This should be enough here to take out that, and it is. Gets the additional turn, able to shake. I mean, you're shaking the Oblivion on a unit that doesn't care about the Oblivion, but still shakes it.
Still shakes it off. Gets the dismount. And let's see, honestly, this
rolling in for Thompson.
Now that the defense break is off the table, it's looking pretty good for Thompson. Ray scoops. Thompson wins the tiebreaker game in the bottom bracket.
Yeah, it's definitely a more playstyle that we'd like to see from Thompson. You know, some people may say this was a rune quality thing. We were watching a G1 versus a G3 player here, where rune quality and then unit is a massive, massive factor here. But we also did get to see a draft style more like the Thompson that we do like. We got to see the hyper-aggressive, and then we got to see more of a control team with a bruiser-esque style of play with it as well. Like, I like that combination of units that we brought to the table there. I like the Wusa. I like the Molong team there. It was something that Ray Dillo couldn't deal with. You know what I mean? That's the thing when it comes to Mo Long. It's like, if he has HP, he's going to do stuff, and there's nothing you can do about that.
Yeah, Thompson just effectively handled that game. I think the way that he piloted those first couple turns were really well done. You know, just taking down the Shizuka right away. He knew that was going to be the point where he lost the game if the Shizuka stuck around for long term. This first game, like you highlighted, Stoic, this was akin to what we like to see from Thompson. This, you know, predominantly dark, speed-based, high damage comp. And it was, again, operated so well.
You know, Beelzebub remains one of my more favorite, most wanted LD Nat 5s. And it's not because I think he'll take me into the beyond and make me this great player where I can, land G3. But he's just such a cool unit, man. I love what he can do. And he's so cool. Very, very hype. Very exciting, man.
Ari, we did, by the way. We did. This time we did. The first time was an accident, actually.
Yeah, so we might as well keep doing it. You know, the
exactly.
long sleeves, long sleeve, no pants combination here. We're definitely matching today.
Exactly, that was the agreement. Long sleeve, no pants. Good win from Thompson. That was great. Oh, yeah. Hey, matching Tableau shirts. Yeah, exactly, Pat. Hey, what's up, Topa? Welcome to the chat. And the Ace. It's been a while, dude. We've got another one coming up here. Rhino versus Mendieta. We're deciding placements right now. We got to figure out who our top 8 are. And so that's what these tiebreaker games are in the bottom bracket. Love to see Rhino playing again. Super excited to see his drafts.
Well, Mendieta, he's looking great, man. Like, to be honest, like watching him play, even his matchup against who did he play first? Did he play Zazas first? Mendieta versus Zazas? I think he played Zazas first.
I think he did.
Yeah, and honestly, he had, he took a match from Zazas, but he had a really good performance going in there. And he's been looking great throughout the day. So I would expect him to do fairly well against the very fast Rhino. Let's see what Rhino's got in store for us, because we've been seeing a lot of the same stuff here. I don't think Rhino has a ton of stuff ruined up, but he's still a very fast player. Let's see how he's going to be adjusting going up against Mendietas. And Masha finally getting a pre-ban.
This feels like the Legend tournaments with all the ban the Maximilian. It's like ban the Masha.
Yep.
She's
like,
so
it's just
strong.
She's an MVP today, and now the MVP is finally seeing some ban and gets banned out here. We do love that more Water Ryu as a first pick here. We talk about how excellent of a first pick it is. Rhino locking in that Vanessa. I do think that Vanessa is a very important unit for Rhino. I would honestly expect to see Mendietas take this unit away from Rhino as they go into match number 2 later on. But let's see if he catches on to that.
There's the Nikki. We've talked about the Nikki and the Wedge Act combo a couple times, and he's finally drafting the Nikki. It feels like it's been a second since we've seen it.
It has. That is a very preemptive Diana. I don't think Mendieta should have dropped that in here. I do think that's a preemptive draft coming from him. I think he may pay for that.
Yeah, that was arguably a little too preemptive. Granted, Rhino is picking into it a little bit with the Shizuka, but I mean that's suggesting that the Diana's going to be around to do anything about it, you know?
Yes, we'll definitely see what happens here, because we do know Vanessa's going to be fast. It's going to go turn 1, potentially defense breaking something and stopping them right away here. So let's see what this last pick is. I do think he needs a high volatility unit. He needs something to capitalize on damage right now, because only thing offering damage and for Rhino to do anything at all is just this this talisman. And we know we've seen the Wind Sylph as something as a go-to extra damage dealer that fits this last slot that he's been bringing to the table here. And it is going to be the Water Monkey King. Xiao comes in.
He really believes in the Water Monkey. I do too. It's actually one of my favorite units. The only thing is it is picking into the position where, you're kind of incentivized to ban the Diana. And so that's you can look at that however you like. I think maybe, like you said, the Shimite could have been a better last pick, but we'll see how this plays out for him.
Yep, let's see what happens here. Diana is going to get the ban. Looks like Vanessa's going to get banned out here in this match here. So we do have a lot of damage. We do have a very fast Draco. And what we don't see on Mendietta's side of the field is he has a 24 speed lead, but no one's going to be that fast unless this is a crazy swift water Ryu or more. And it is not.
Oh, he still gets the turn 1, sans a speed lead with the Draco.
Yeah, that's what happens when you're looking at a Swift unit versus a Despair. So nothing on Mendietta's field says like, hey, I am going turn 1. It is a Moor, but Moor is more than likely built on Despair or even Violent that we've seen nowadays. So you definitely can't expect Moor to be taking turn 1. So the 24 speed lead, not enough for him to take turn 1 like that.
True, and look at that. Look at that damage just from the skill 2. And now that Moor is all stunned up there, that means that in theory he is protected.
Definitely, in theory, that he is protected. I think we have a second skill, maybe bringing him out. I don't think he uses any skills at all, personally. And
Yeah,
that's what's going to happen. That's a rough
that's a very-
Violent to do.
That's the worst Violent of the day, actually. I think that takes the previous position as the worst Violent of the day. You hate
It
to
just
see
doesn't
that.
feel good, man. You get no results. You get absolutely nothing. It's not even like, well, at least I got to apply an attack break. Like, no, you just waste a turn and give your opponent a better chance to proc. And then, like, watch
Yeah,
Water Monkey
and then
just pop off and capitalize off of that. Like, that's so rough to see.
Boom. I love watching Shiho do his thing. Oh, I think you got to kind of start working on the it's tough. You got to start working on the Shiho eventually, but like you got to lock down the talisman too. You're stuck between a Shiho and a hard place, right? So
Definitely. Well, the issue here is Mendietta's didn't bring enough to stop the damage dealers here. Like, yeah, he has Icarus providing, an ability to take people away, a little bit of sustain, Baleo looking to cut in. But, like, after all is said and done, like, you're offering sustain, you're offering a cut in. What are you doing after that?
exactly. Yeah, there wasn't a lot. I think maybe the Icarus was also kind of a little bit of a weak pick too. It didn't bring enough damage to take out the talisman effectively when it finally got that turn, and it didn't contribute too much to the game.
Yep. So let's see what happens in the ban here. We might see that Draco go in banned. We might see, because he knows how fast that Draco is, and he kind of wants to see a different team coming out of Rhino. But what happens here from Mendieta is he probably has to pre-ban the Draco and then first pick the Vanessa in this match.
Right. I think that's well done. Masha's available. The MVP of the day. The M stands for Masha. Masha, valuable person.
Oh, yeah. Masha's so insane, and I'm definitely expecting Masha to be in this match here. I'm expecting both these units to be in here, watching the Masha and the Ethna make it into this match.
Yeah, I think so. I'm excited to see how this goes. They're taking their time. They're really thinking about this, Stoic.
Yeah, someone's really thinking about the pre-ban here. Potentially it's Mendieta's wondering what he wants to pre-ban, because obviously he knows Rhino, very fast player, and not too sure what he wants to ban out to stop what he's doing here. And wow, all right, so to me that's homework done. Like, I feel like, yeah, I know, as much as we want to see the Miyang go through, I feel like that's a little bit of homework, like knowing that Rhino has that in store and kind of like leans on something like that, going into like another match where, oh, I'm sorry, Rhino had the first pick, not Mientas. I don't know why I thought Mendietas had first pick going in here.
Don't worry, dude. It's been a lot of games. We got Rhino locking down the Draco he loves that we know can take turn one, even without a speed lead.
So does he bruise her up immediately? That's the thing where, we've seen a Triana being drafted. I think that's an excellent take here to take that Vanessa away from Rhino. So that's a good take for Mendietas. I like the Nick. I think Nicky's an incredible unit here. But is that enough? I feel like Mendietas needs to have his mind on, after all's said and done, Rhino did this, that, and the other thing. What did you have to stay alive? So I like the Diana now-ish because Vanessa created that opening to deal with Diana in the past. So now that he has the Vanessa, he's drafting the Diana. What is Rhino going to do about the Diana? And Diana kind of already has her place as potential ban.
And if any AoEs potentially come out, she could kind of cut in. Like you said, Vanessa isn't there to provide the defense break for it. Let's see what Rhino does. And I actually now, too, I also really like the Miyang pre-ban from Mendieta, because as weird as it is to say, Miyang kind of allowed Rhino to let the Diana through because you defense break it and then you auto crit on it, and that's the kill. So now they can't do that. Oh my God, stop, Rhino. I was already a fan, dude. Please, I love it. No, bring it. I want it. Oh,
Yeah, well, he did need another damage dealer there, because Talisman can't be the only damage dealer for sure, so the Wind Self does make it through. I think the Wind Self definitely fine. It's going to bring a lot of damage to the table. Interesting draft here on the Gemini, though, because, like, keep in mind, Gemini can't have buffs up, and Escher kind of provides that, and so does Draco.
True. And as much as I hate to say it, the Shimite is way better than Carlos in this case because it's neutrally better up against Abellio, too. Carlos can falter to Abellio, actually.
Yeah, writing was on the wall for that one. Leo 100% was going to be the ban going up against Rhino here, but speed leads go out. We definitely don't have Mendita taking turn 1 here. Doesn't have anybody fast. He does have the better speed lead, though. But Rhino 100% taking turn 1 with the very fast units, Draco and Escher.
Okay, now skill 3. He's boosting the team. Let's see how much damage can be done. Gemini setting up the defense break.
Oh my god, I keep forgetting about that change, Evan. I'm like, you can't have buffs because Gemini won't strip. That's been removed. That is an old mindset. I am sitting here, the boomer as I am, in my Gemini boomer life. Oh.
You're good, bro. Don't worry. Don't worry. You're good. You're good, man. Don't worry. It's clear. He's so good now. He's so good the way they fixed that.
Honestly, Gemini needs more attention. Like the fact that I totally missed that. Gemini was an amazing pick here.
I didn't even hear you make that comment, actually. I think I blocked it out. I didn't even hear you make that comment.
Oh, that's so funny. Hey, Gemini was awesome. Probably should have got banned out here. I was like, dude, Gemini's terrible here. I'm sitting here living in the past.
No, I to be honest, I didn't even hear you say that. Yeah, that's Gemini's amazing.
Oh, that's so funny.
Like a
great
that
draft here.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
well,
pretty stellar.
I really don't see how Mendita comes back from this.
This is a clean one for Rhino.
Yep, definitely a clean match for him. I think Nikki's great. I think Nikki can do a lot of crazy things here. I think you still pop off and you want to keep sleeping to get your 3rd skill up. It's not about sustaining yourself because it's about taking out units at this point. So maybe Nikki's got the 3rd skill for it. I don't think so. He's pushing for it, though. He needs the additional.
If the Draco's on violent. The Draco has a built-in chance to proc off skill 1.
Yes, that is correct. So it's more than likely built on Swift or even Despair.
True. And that's the confirmed kill. And that's Rhino taking the 2-0, winning the tiebreaker game. Congratulations to him. Very stellar getting to see the comp work.
Yes, and this is why Rhino is such a threat during the Wednesdays. Like, he's just such a fast player. His teams are really, really well put together. There's not a lot of people being able to cleave in G3, and he is pushing for it, man. Like, there's a lot of response to cleave. You know, there's a lot of like outspeeding methods that you can have to stop these kind of cleaves here. But Rhino, he's very, very well tuned, and he's very methodical when it comes to his cleave team. So well done on him, because he put on an absolute show. He accumulated a lot of summoners points here, and great job for Rhino.
Yeah, and also, like you pointed out, how his comps are really good for Wednesdays, too. Cleave comps lend themselves really well to what America's Summit is trying to do when you rack up points on Wednesdays to queue for these. You know, you want to get wins as fast as possible. So that's great if you can, if you already have that queued up and that's how you're comfortable playing. A lot of times we see people kind of shift away from that when it comes down to the monthly trials. But I'm glad that we got to see him do both the pivot and also his bread and butter.
Yep, exactly. So nice to see that. It's been like an amazing show. Honestly, watching all these guys going at it here. This is that first match that we got to see with Rhino. You know, Rhino getting the 2-0 here, and it was just so well put together. We really, really enjoyed all of his matches here. It's so cool to see Talisman working, where there's a lot of people out there who probably own Talisman and think he's one of the worst LD Nat 5s, and Rhino's got something to say about that.
Yeah, he really does. I mean, Rhino put a good showing on for him. He didn't actually get the claws on the skill 3 in this one. You know, he didn't immediately get into the second skill off of the third one in this one, but I think the damage and also buffing your own attack and crit is pretty sick. That's pretty awesome. Facilitating your damage is awesome.
Yep, exactly. I feel like all these matches where Mendita's not having a great response to like losing a unit, and then how do you take units away from Rhino? So it's like he brought things that will potentially stay alive, or, you know, in Abellio, a Vanessa, even Shizuka with a skill too, Nikki offering a great heal and cleanse, but none of it to really like what's your aggression? Like, what's your aggressive part? Like, how are you going to win the match? Like, you'll receive the damage, and then you need to do something after that. And I feel like Mendita didn't do well up against that play style.
Yeah, exactly. What do you do after you survive? In theory, after if you survive, right? You know, Nikki was a cool like take on that, but I'm with you. Yeah, but there just need to be that one extra element just to make sure that the team could function after all the gas was spent from Rhino's side, and that's just the part that was missing. But generally speaking, love the set. It was really cool to see both those players up against each other. And there we go.
Yep,
look at that. That's the bracket thus far in the bottom bracket. So we just rounded out those matches that were already populated. We've still got one more ahead, but we're going to have to tackle the quarterfinals before we get to that one.
And that's right. So we're going back to the other side of the bracket. So now we're all done here. We're all done with the bottom bracket. We'll come back to the bottom bracket later on. But we have our leaderboard right here. Rhino with 4, Menditas with 3, Thompson with 2, Ray Dello with 1. Now, the only returning name that we see on this list is Thompson, so those 2 points will be added to his points that he had previously shown before here. But Rhino, well done here, getting the 4 points, getting the most points accumulated out of the lower side of the bracket.
Yeah, all these players, again, trying to earn as many points as possible. This is all going to add up, and it's leading towards a finals, a live one in May, where it's going to be a 2-day event. We're going to have people come into LA, and they're going to face off in person. It's going to be fun.
Definitely going to be a lot of fun. I look forward to those times. It's going to be it's always a great time to be in person and to hang out with you, Evan.
Oh, and dude, likewise, man. Those are the times that I love the most. Getting the cast stuff together is so much fun. I'm looking forward to it. And remember, we still have one more monthly trial in between then and now. So again, guys, that's the bottom bracket ironed out. We're going to be going back into the quarterfinals after a brief break. So stick with us. We'll be right back. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the March monthly trial for the 2024 Americas Summit. I'm still Evan, and that is still Stoic. What's up, Stoic? How was your break?
It was good. It was good. I sat here and the timer went. And it was awesome. I don't know. I've just been really excited. Summit's been good, man.
Extraordinary, my guy.
Yeah, we've had really great matches. Been having a lot of fun tonight.
Yeah, we have.
Seen some ups and downs, but ultimately it's just been some really good gameplay throughout the day.
Yeah, and we've spent the last little bit in the bottom bracket, and now we bounced back up towards the winner's bracket side, where we find ourselves in the quarterfinals. So now we're going to be coming in for Jeff Bulladell versus Big V. Then we'll have True Whale versus Zazas. We'll take a brief detour back down to the bottom bracket, where we'll figure out who the third and fourth place winners are. Then we'll finish out the finals.
Yep, and there you have it. Looking forward to that next match here, Jeff Bulladell versus Big V. That's another one. I feel like that's got a lot of attention right now. Jeff Bulladell with a lot of following here on Twitch as well. That's definitely a big name in the Brazilian side of our community, going up against a Big V, where it's going to be very, very tough. Jeff Bulladell, I do believe he's made it into the prelims before for SWC, but I really can't confirm that, but I think he has. Big V, we know him as an America's Cup champion, someone who goes to the finals in SWC. Is a really, really tough opponent here, a very fast opponent as well. Let's see what Jeff Bulladell has in store for Big V, because I feel like a Velajuel pick or prioritizing a Velajuel might be a little rough going up against the very fast Big V.
Yeah, I think that's the sort of monster that he could definitely kind of abuse. He could see it being one of those slower, bruisier picks, and he could just kind of use some faster techniques to deal with it, keep its attack bar reduced, etc. Let's see what he wants to do. Big V's had some time to think about it, and he takes out the Water Twin Angel, Stoic.
That's so funny that would be the priority. All right, so talking about the last balance patch, maybe this is the all-star of the balance patch, where here it is in the pre-ban in the Summit, and Oliver, of course, getting pre-banned as well. So very, very good unit for Jeff.
A classic. Yeah, it's probably one of those cases where not having a lot of play time against the Water Twin Angels might warrant a pre-ban.
Potentially. But it looks like that Velajuel is coming back. Chandra first pick into a Velajuel Ethna. Big V drafting the Ciara in Jognam. Very, very good units. Jognam super, super good. Opens up opportunities with that second skill. I like this unit.
Me too. The true damage is super valuable. I think we've made this comparison in the past. It kind of reminds me of Wusa during his peak of popularity.
Definitely with that damage that he does with second skill for sure. But more importantly, offering a strip, and it's so good.
It is. I like Camilla up against this because we've talked about needing a way to deal with the Masha for today, and Camilla offers exactly what Jeff needs, and the Meiho Wang is also so tanky that it might be able to withstand a skill 2.
Yeah, I love Jeff's draft. I think Jeff's got an excellent draft going up against Big V here. I don't know how I feel about that light puppeteer as the last pick, but I do know units that are on our mind right now are anything that strips, because there's a Velajuel here and a Chandra that can bring us a lot of value to Jeff's team. So I feel like maybe the Juno might be focused out as the ban being like one of the main strips, but that light puppeteer will eat up the ban. Interesting.
Yeah, and then the Etna, as always, being one of those high base speed monsters threatening to steal turn 1 away, could see why Big V wanted to do away with that early. Here we go, round 1 right now. Jongnam taking turn 1.
Yep, let's see what happens here. Jongnam, we love this unit. It's a lot of utility out of that second skill, even the third skill as well. Not getting the strip on top of the Velajuel, forcing out that second skill. Velajuel, that's it. It strips her out. You got no more strips, and Velajuel's primed and ready to boost up his team. Looking very good for Jeff Bulladell. I feel like he couldn't ask for more there.
Yeah, and now look at this. Big V's in for some awkward turns ahead of him. He really burned everything on that Velajool. I think it might have gotten to the point where he should have saved Juno's skill too, so that way he had a little gas in the tank, because look at this. Now Ciara has nothing to do.
Ciara's got nothing to do, and she's going to eat up a defense break from this Velajool, and this is going to be some really good setup for Jeff Baldau, because look who's going next. We've got Fire Monkey King. There's a lot of procs out there, and Fire Monkey King's great at one thing, and that's procking. Oh, yeah. There it is.
He's so good at procking, bro.
Oh, he's so good at it.
It's his favorite thing to do. Him and Camilla, they love to take down dismounted Mashas. That's like their favorite.
Yep, well done for Jeff Baldau. Honestly, he took advantage of the very unfortunate Big V there, trying to keep the immunity off of that Velajool, but once Velajool got that 3 turns of immunity, I feel like that was kind of it for Big V. He was not able to capitalize off of anything, and we knew after seeing the additional turns roll out there that Fire Monk King was ready, waiting, and he pumped through that defense broken Ciara.
Oh, not the double off element crit. That was crazy. That was a crazy way to end that game. Jeff had already won it, but the double off element crit back to back from 2 different units, that's awesome. Jeff with the statement game up front, saying, I'm not afraid of Big V. I can take this.
That was wild. Great game for Jeff Baldau. Was very, very fortunate for his Velajool to hold on to that Velajool for as long as he did. Let's see if there's going to be a change of draft here for Big V. Maybe looking to adjust better to, potentially Jeff not wanting that initial turn 1, but being fast enough to capitalize off of a poor turn 1 result for Big V.
Yeah, and I think if I'm not mistaken, we actually saw the Water Twin Angel paired with the Masha before, by the way, and now that it's back on the table, we might see Jeff prioritize taking those 2 units again.
I think so. I think we're going to see that Water Angel come back out here with that, providing defense break opportunities for Masha. I think that's definitely going to be happening here.
Oh, let's see. They got 15 seconds left. They're taking all the time in the world to think about it, figuring out what was the most problematic monster. I'm going to laugh if it's Velajool. I don't think it will be.
I know.
It'd be funny.
I don't think it's going to be the Oh my god, it's the Velajool. That's so funny. Because, honestly, I stand by Big V and what he was trying to do. It's just Velajool refused to get stripped. There was nothing wrong with going down that route, because that's all he was trying to do, is just strip the Vela, and he just got a little unlucky. So I feel like he still let that Velajool through. But you know what? I feel like he's just got other plans for it.
Yeah. Absolutely. Now, Big V's presenting that Jongnam that we know is fast enough to take turn 1. We saw him ban out the Etna from Jeff before. Let's see what Jeff wants to do to pivot from here. I think Big V could probably take the Masha if he's so inclined, just to kind of steal it away. Otherwise, I think we might see Masha into Water Twin Angel.
Yeah, I believe that's what's going to happen as well. I think Masha will get drafted, whether it's Big V or Jeff Baldau, and it looks like we're looking at an outspeed route here for Jeff Baldau. There's that Masha, and the Juno's going to get drafted by Jeff. Turn 1 is being demanded by Big V, though, when he lands down that segment, and we do know that Nikki is built on high damage and is also built very quick as well. Nice choice with the Juno from Jeff. I think once the Oliver's been presented, that's too much value. You're resetting too many skills to pick the Water Twin Angels. Let's see what he chooses to bring to lock down the draft. What would you like to see here, Stark? I actually really dislike this Ragdoll coming from Big V. I feel like he's got such a proactive draft. It's so interesting to see him prioritize a Ragdoll as his last pick here, because I kind of feel like Jeff doesn't care too much about the Ragdoll. Maybe he does ban that, We're talking about 2 high-ranking players where that 10% does come into the picture a lot more than other times. But I know I'm not the biggest fan. I really liked how proactive Big V was with what he was bringing to the table here. I would have liked to see maybe a 3rd strip to do something else. But Smicer's not going to be smicing in this match, so he's going to get banned out here. And of course, Nikki was just insane. That definitely had to go. True, and I like what you said about the Ragdoll, because it is a little stationary for this draft. The rest of the team is moving super fast, and Ragdoll's just kind of sitting back and taking hits. He's not contributing as much as the other monsters, so I definitely agree with what you said. Sekhmet takes the turn 1. The 33% speed lead is pretty much guaranteeing that. Let's see if Etna can do anything about it. She can't. Well, you're going to see the 2nd skill go on to the Masha. He's going to try and control this unit. If he goes 2nd skill, Masha gets the strip. Oliver's going to be resetting this unit, but it looks like he wants to do that same method, but on the Chandra this time. That's an interesting choice, because now Masha is going to be able to skill 2 the Oliver. Yep, the Oliver or even the Sekhmet, whatever he thinks is more problematic, and it is going to be the Sekhmet. Sekhmet just took a massive amount of damage here.
Yeah, she did.
She's on her way out. Masha can kind of clean that up. The rest of the team isn't looking incredible right now, but this is one of the skill 2s that you can kind of throw out, hoping for heal blocks on the Etna, but didn't get it.
Yep, looking for the third skill. Does get that kill there on the what was just there? I can't even remember what the unit was.
That was an Etna. Yeah, it was. It blew past us so fast. I could hardly tell you it was an Etna myself.
That's right. I mean, now Juno is going to be, one of those problematic units here, where you have the Water Dekebi Lord who's going to be freezing with first skill, Ragdoll putting down the dots here, and it's just the Oliver that's going to be it here. But I feel like Masha's probably the perfect unit for Jeff Baldau to have on the field right now.
Yeah, it's just that Jongnam that's
making me take pause. I don't know how he gets rid of the Water Dekebi Lord.
Well, hold up here. He was able to get the dismount on top of that Masha, and Big V's doing a great job and not letting Chandra take any turns here. So there's going to be no protection coming out here. He gets the stun. The third skill is available, so it's not going to be enough sustain for any of these units to come back here. Big V did exactly what he needed to do, and that was to stop Masha from doing anything at all.
Yeah, look at that. Big V cleaning it up right now.
It's so funny how quick things can turn around just like that, where I just saw, like, Jeff Baldau, we've got the Masha, it's going to smash this Oliver, we're going to have priority and get rid of that. We've got now a Ragdoll in torrent range, so say la vie, this poor Juno's going to get absolutely destroyed there. And Big V taking round 2 away from Jeff Baldau.
The ignore defense torrent at the end, that was great. That was a really fun way to end that round. Both players are suddenly at match point right now in our semifinals.
Yep, and that Veil Jewel is going to be back in Jeff Baldau's field here. I still like we said what we said. I still think Jeff Baldau had things going pretty well for him. But man, good on Big V to turn that around there, because Masha was definitely a big problem, but he was able to get that dismount fairly quickly.
Nice respect pre-bans here. Get rid of the 33% speed lead, and Big V just really did not like that the Smicer was thrown down.
I know, no Smicer be smicing today. I'm a big fan of Smicer. I really would like to see it to go through here, but more priority picks on the Chandra. Jeff's locking this down. You can almost guarantee that Veil is going to be coming out, and you can almost guarantee that Big V's not drafting a Veil Jewel.
Almost. You can almost guarantee.
I know.
I've seen
Prove me wrong.
About
Bust out the Veil Jewel.
I see it. Oh, I've been impressed by the Jongnam. I see why it's a priority pick for Big V right now.
Most definitely. I feel like it's also something that Jeff Baldau's not drafting. He hasn't shown to draft a Water Jongnam, so I feel like that's not something he needs to really prioritize, in my opinion. But I also don't see Big V drafting like a Veil Jewel or a Cigar even. Maybe a Cigar, but he's not really proving to draft that. We love the Dactyl Kebi Lord. That would scream Ragdoll's coming out here, so it's Ragdoll, Nikki, Dactyl Kebi Lord, if that's the direction Big V chooses to go. But I do feel like with what Jeff Baldau has been drafting, because that Mosh is coming out, whether you like it or not, Mosh is happening right now, I feel like Jeff's pretty safe, in my opinion.
Oh yeah, Masha, the Juno practically calls to Masha. Oh, the Fire Cassandra could be paired up with Masha, actually, if you wanted to have Big V have to ban one and still get the other through.
I would love to see a Masha still come through, Masha and Cassandra. Cassandra would be the priority ban for Big V. He doesn't really have a way to answer a Cassandra. It just brings too much damage to the table. Fire Monkey King's totally fine. We love a Fire Monkey King. He knows exactly what to do at all the right times.
He does. And Big V's got the double Dekebis, as we like to call it, So I'm curious as to what Jeff is prioritizing for the ban.
Nikki is pretty important right now, but he does have that Cigar, and Cigar is going to be a great ban here. I love the Masha. Masha is still an incredible unit. Definitely great going up against a Fire Monkey King. Fire Monkey King's making his way into the match. We see a Masha as a last pick here. I do think Nikki's too good, and maybe you're banning out a Nikki here.
I could see the Nikki.
I could also see Masha. I don't think I would fault him if he did ban out.
Oh, wait,
Masha,
he would just ban out the Jongnam, the water unit, where he's got 3 fire units on the field as well. So maybe Jongnam does get banned out here, but at least he's not getting any value with the third skill because there's a Fire Monkey King. And the Masha says Fire Monkey King's going through.
Yeah, and that was a good call on the Jongnam there too, Stoic. The only thing, the reason why I wasn't anticipating it is just because he's got skill lockdown from Cigar, he's got the immunity from Velajul, he's etc. The Meiho Wang can't get stunned, and we know that he's also got Secret Elemental King.
But the only reason why Velajul was so impactful in the first match is because Velajul resisted. Now, Velajul's taking turn 1 here because nothing's very fast on Big V's side of the field here. He's definitely drafted very bruisery.
Velajul making these plays happen.
That's right. This reset here has got to go on the Masha. He gets the provoke exactly where he needs it, and that's on the Nikki.
Oh, look at that. Yeah, now Nikki's not in a position where she can set up the attack buff and deal big damage. She'll have to proc to do that. And if anybody could do it, it's her.
Nice.
But let's see.
Despair. That's a massive Despair stun sitting on top of the Masha, really slowing that unit down here. And Fire Monkey did not do what he's supposed to do, and that's Violent.
Yeah, there was definitely a world where we could have seen a Violent there, into a stun, into a kill even. It might be a little too early for a kill. Can Velajul wrap this up? Can he get enough damage in? He opts to go for the skill.
I think you go with the third.
The Juno does have skill 2 available.
Man, this is going to be it. Nikki's going to be dropping right there to the Chandra. You've got skills available. Well, not all skills available with the Fire Monkey. He only has skill 1. But that's going to be a little bit of poke damage going towards the Masha. If he gets the stun, it's insane. And he gets the additional turn for the massive defense break. A lot of damage coming towards Masha, but a little bit of sustain here with the Dactyl Kebi Lord, of course.
Yeah, the Dark Kebi's so smart, clearing out the defense break from the Masha there just to protect it. So funny the way he... Sometimes that just happens. Sometimes he's so smart.
Oh, but he sets up another defense break. Fire Monkey can take advantage of that. And still procking. What did we say about this unit, man?
Wow, muito boa, Jeffy. He always procs. The Meiho Wang. That's what he's built to do, is proc.
Yep. Just like Masha, I feel like both these units they always do this at all time. I mean, I'm expecting Masha to proc out of the stun right now, to be honest with you. As soon as we see that attack bar hit 100, like, Masha's coming out. Unless Jeff's got something to say, and he didn't want to see it. He didn't want to see it.
We knew he was gonna. We knew that Masha was gonna proc.
Yep. But if anybody has ever seen a Dactyl Kebi match, it's not over. That's a lot of damage from that second skill going on to the Fire Monkey. Juno with great additional damage, taking advantage of the branding as well. A little bit of attack bar reduction from the Cigar, which is quite good, but that defense, the hug coming out on top of the Fire Monkey King, so perfectly timed.
This is why I want a Chandra, man. He combos so well with people. I think this is great. Now all of a sudden you have to halt your progress on the Meiho Wang and repivot your damage. Oh, he's being aggressive right now. He thinks he can take out this Juno. I don't think that's...
He's definitely being very aggressive here. But what I will say is the best debuff you could put on a Juno is a slow. Yes, she's going to cleanse it, but at least she's slow in that time.
Yes, true. Oh, we could see it with a proc. He's not doing it.
Not doing it there. I think Jeff's got all the time in the world to come back in this match. Not come back in this match, but to just, like, settle it, because things are looking very, very good for Jeff right now. He can throw that second skill onto the Dactyl Kebi Lord, get that defense break provoke on him, which is quite nice. Still has that slow. Looking to finish off the Juno, and does so. Jeff, man, in a Game 3 with Big V, he performed.
Oh, yeah, he did. Jeff, wow. Ótimo. Muito boa, lindo. Well done, Jeff. That was a great game from him. Like you said, Stoic, he had plenty of time there at the end because he was so safe. Like, he presented enough damage, but also he was putting pressure on Big V, and Big V just didn't have what it took to kind of put that pressure back on Jeff.
Yep, exactly. I mean, it's really tough when you're dealing with those, like, great turns the Fire Monkey King was able to take there. Taking advantage of defense breaking and violent proccing on that is insane when you watch units do that. We watched Masha do that throughout the night. So it's the exact same thing where we watch Masha do it, we're watching Fire Monkey do it. They take advantage of these opportunities, and it is huge. And that's so, so important when it comes to playing up against someone who drafted a bruiser style. So well done. Those great opportunities. Jeff really did perform against Big V here.
Meiho Wang's a very similar monster to Masha in a lot of respects. You know, in a weird way, he's got a form of immunity against crowd control, right? And he's built with high damage. He's got a defense break. You want him to proxy, build him on violent, and he's fast with his passive over time. It's a great unit and very effective in that situation. And he just sticks around. I haven't even brought up the fact that Chandra pairs so well with that monster, because it's like once they realize they need to focus down the Meiho Wang, you just put the hug on him, and now he's protected.
Yep, that's right. And that, honestly, you really nailed it. Like, those two units are very much the same. Mei Wang is a loaded passive. Like he's just got everything under the sun. I feel like in that passive as well, where he can't be stunned with his passive, and Masha offers an immunity, so that in a way, like she can't be stunned either because she's protected by her immunity. So both monsters like have their benefits to protect themselves from like a control style of play, but at the same time both offering defense breaks. The only thing Masha doesn't have is sustain, where Fire Monkey King is able to sustain himself up there. But Masha has her dismounted form, where she dismounts and stays alive a little bit longer. So it's like both units are just crazy good, but very similar in a way.
Yeah, they're comparable in that way, right? They fill a very similar role. Here we go. This is another banger of a game right now. True Whale versus Zazas. True Whale's got so much under his belt. He's got a legend title, an America's Cup victory, presence at the SWC World Finals. Also, we've got Zazas, who's been taking the #1 slot at these monthly trials. The dude is so talented. This is going to be a great game right here, Stoic.
Yep, and these two played each other in the previous monthly trials as well. Zazas ended up getting the win over True Whale here. So True Whale, honestly, he's looking for some revenge here. He wants to win this match. He wants to take down Zazas, where Zazas got those wins last in the previous month. And let's see what happens. We have very good players here, point leaders in both of their realms.
Yeah, they are actually. You're super right that this is a revenge story right here. True Whale can try to take a crack at this again. Zazas pulled through before. Let's see if he can do it again. Neftis and Zabala are taking up the pre-ban.
Yep, pre-ban's locked in. Neftis and Zabala for sure. Evan, was that Lucian winking at us, by the way? I couldn't tell if I was getting winked at.
It kind of seemed like it, right? I don't know.
At me.
I feel like I hallucinated that, but I guess not.
Yeah, I can't remember if that Lucian was winking at me, but hey, what's up, Lucian?
We can check again. We'll see. It's the Lucian wink, brought to you by the people who made the Lucian laugh.
24 speed lead. We've got a Laura. Zazas with a 33 speed lead. He's locked in his Oliver. We've got a Hagang and we've got a Masha. True Whale with the Tian Lang and Chung Peng. We like this draft from True Whale. Obviously, Hagang, like already on the targeted for ban.
Yeah, Hagang is a really good target. It is also an attack bar increasing effect too, so we'll have to see what he wants to ban out. Zazas with the Chloe. Let's go.
Yeah. Chloe. It's so interesting that we would see this unit right now.
Speed lead and like semi-Pontos third skill.
Yeah,
oh my god, did I just crack the code? Is this Pontos in a wig?
Yeah, I think it is. I think it's red Pontos.
Pontos in a wig.
Oh, we love that pick though. The Volantis is an excellent last pick here from True Whale. Volantis super good. Dude, does Volantis become the ban? No, Ciara remains the ban. Strips for days. Okay. True Whale.
Can Laura still take turn 1? This is not unheard of. She has a 120 base speed. She could absolutely take turn 1, even with a 33 presented on the other side. More outspeeds by a hair. Look at that.
Yep. That's a very fast more for Zazas. He's going to be looking to reduce the attack bar of the Volantis. Does get it. Second skill. Does he come out with second skill? He does come out with second skill, not receiving absolutely anything at all, except some additional damage. That is a Nemesis Chloe, by the way. We saw a lot of damage come towards Chloe, and that attack bar got boosted up.
Yeah, in doing that play, by the way, it did boost up Tian Lang for the opportunity to do that, right? So it's like there was a chance to disrupt the Chloe. Chung Peng crocking out, getting the strips. The Chung Pengs today, Stoic, have been so consistent with that strip.
I know, that's just not a world any of us live in. That's kind of crazy to see that.
Holy heavens. Okay. So True Whale looking pretty good right now. Gotta say. He's got an opportunity for stuns across the board, but Laura's still skill 2 and is rewarded with 25%.
Wow, stays alive, able to get one more turn out of... Well, he doesn't get a turn out of this Chloe. Chloe should be dropping here. Just get rid of that unit. Or it'll eventually happen with the AoEs that True Whale has, since he has 4 units that do all AoE style, so probably doesn't have to worry too much about that Chloe yet. But what's actually happening here is Volantis is not getting stuns. There was supposed to be a stun on the Masha, and he didn't get it. A stun onto the Oliver, and not getting it here. And I feel like that stun before, where the missed opportunity, was kind of big, and Zazas very fortunate to keep his Masha up right now.
Yeah, I think you're right about that. Well, Zazas is gonna... It's not over, but the Tian Lang is certainly hurting him, especially when you have a unit like Oliver that can't help but increase Tianlang's attack bar. Pretty much every unit in play right now on Zazas' side is feeding that Tianlang attack bar. Oh, this is a tough call. That was a really tough call. It's like you want to take down the Tianlang. Laura's almost there. Chung Pung's looking fresh. Like, there's a lot of priorities.
Yeah, so much additional damage right there. True Whale taking round 1. Just strips for days, I feel like, is so nice to have. It was a very commanding match there for True Whale. I'm not too sure what Zazas could do in hindsight going into that match there. I feel like what we didn't see was that violent proccing Masha. Like, Masha's so good, but we didn't get to see Masha take advantage of any of her defense breaks.
Yeah, I don't know. To your point before, I don't know what Zazas could have done differently. I think it might have been a ban thing. I think maybe if we saw a different monster ban instead of the Ciara, perhaps a Tianlang, and now we're getting it pre-banned.
Yeah, Tianlang belongs in that pre-ban for sure. It was a very tough unit for Zazas to deal with. Like you said, he drafted 3 units that all were feeding into the Tianlang, and he was not able to get his value like he wanted to. And it's so funny to see CR in the priority pick right there. True Will locking that CR. And Zazas with the Oliver and Sekhmet. This is nothing but turn 1 here. I've said this before, Oliver Sekhmet, and then ended up being a Dr. Kebi Lord bruiser route that people were going in.
Yeah, it was an extreme pivot right after this, right? But yeah, from the openers here, it seems like we're off to the races. Zazas might want to continue and pick something like an Ashir to really challenge that first turn. We'll see what happens.
Yeah. Let's see what happens here for sure. I mean, there's some routes and there's some room for pivots here. If Zazas locks in that, he's got to lock in an additional speed lead if he's trying to really command turn 1, and that's screaming commanding turn 1. And I think True Whale would probably draft accordingly, like, and just keep going with the turn 1 playstyle, try to outspeed and demand turn 1 himself, and Wounds is all over that, man. That's such a fast unit. But keep in mind, there's only 1 speed lead on this field right now.
True, actually. I was just about to say, though, we know how fast that Wunsa is. We saw it earlier today in the bracket, right? We saw it in True Whale versus Thompson. That Wunsa was pretty consistently taking turn 1, except up against... There was one situation where he didn't, and it was no speed lead up against an Etna. Let's see if Zazas does not want to put it in that situation.
He is so confident in his speeds here. So confident. So he bans out the Chloe here, which is built on Nemesis. So he doesn't want to have to worry about the Nemesis proc. And he's just going all in. He's got a 33 speed lead on the other side of the field. And Wunsa is just that fast.
Literally built different. Like, that is such a fast unit. Oh, wait.
Well, with everything stripped there,
it's
not going to matter too much, because that Escher with the second skill boosting up his team here. So it looks like Zez is going to be taking turn 1 anyway, so that's very good. Nice stun there on top of this Dr. Kabila. Is that Despair Sekhmet?
It's
so crazy to see that.
That's absurd, and I love it.
We love it. That is very fortunate there for Zezas to get that Despair stun. So no attack buffed units, I guess, coming out, because you would go with the attack buff indoor coming from the Kiara.
A Despair Sekhmet. That's got to be up there with like a Despair Oliver in terms of like disappointing to be on the receiving end of.
Yeah, it's very popular. A lot more people are taking the Despair Sekhmet out there nowadays. Zazas with the round 2 victory over True Whale.
Both players suddenly at match point in the first game of the semifinals right now.
I love the tech Zazas is bringing here. I love the Chloe, the double Nemesis Will. It's something that you have to worry about, and you have to kind of keep in mind that they have that in store. The Sekhmet, very surprising to see that built on Despair as well. Great play. That was an awesome... I felt like that was a very techie match coming out of Zazas from the draft and into the match as well.
It was. I really want to see that opening turn and the replays too, where Wunsa got turn 1 but didn't get the reduction on anybody. Etna, or rather Ashir, still followed up right after.
Yeah, that was amazing for Zazas. It was just a great performance for him in that second round. Let's see what True Well... I don't care too much to see this Ciara, or even the Zabal. I think the Zabal is fine, but I don't care too much to see Ciara as a priority pick, because I feel like, when you're True Whale, you just take away from your opponent and then later draft things that, they struggle to counter. So, is what it is. Double speed lead coming up for Zazas. The very consistent Mash is going to be drafted by Zazas as well.
Yeah, and Masha is such a perfect pairing for this too, because she's got the immunity to deal with the bombs and she'll dodge the freezes. So True Whale naturally drafts a great strip in Volantis and Juno as well. The only thing about Juno that we've covered before is that Masha likes to eat Juno alive.
Yes, exactly. So that does happen a lot here. Oh my God. I do think that Juno's being drafted because he drafted the Volantis, so it's kind of like, I don't want you to draft this because I drafted a Volantis. But something Truel's got to worry about is those are two heavy bruisers, man. The Acroma is built very, very good. It's going to be very, very tough for Truel to have to deal with here. And there's a lot of stuns and sustain. I was going to say the Josine going to be a very, very big problem.
Wow, this is dangerous. Zazas has put himself in a position where he's got to get that window to reset the Pontos. So let's see what he does. I'm kind of nervous for Zazas with that. I'm afraid that it might be a little difficult to maneuver in and get that Oliver to reset. Again, both these players at round point. This is the last round of the game right here.
Yep, and there it is. So you get the Zabala boosting up the Poseidon, and I'm sorry, not Poseidon. Geez, Pontos getting the holy ground out here.
Oh wow, that's an interesting mix of rewards that Zazas just got there. Got the increased cooldown time, but not the attack bar reduction, and the invincibility is still up. You know what? Honestly, Zazas will take it.
Yeah, most definitely. Getting that defense break on the Junos, a lot of damage. Like we said, you know, Masha's eating up those Junos, but beautiful stuns are sitting on this field right now.
Ooh. There you go. And nice counting turns there from True Whale as well. He didn't burn the skill 3 from Zabala because everybody was already reset, or at least the Masha was.
You know, I'm trying to think about how True Whale got those stuns out on the field. Was that potentially a Despair Ciara that stunned up everybody? Because I'm looking at the box right now, and I believe Zabala provides freezes, not stuns.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. He does provide freezes. It could have been that, or it could have been if I had missed a Juno skill 2. That could have been it as well.
Oh yeah, that might have been the Juno skill too. Yeah, because I saw 3 units stunned up, and I completely missed how that even happened.
Oh, and the clutch little stun from the Moor there too. Oliver probably wants to work at keeping that Ciara at bay, and instead he opts to just go for the increase on the Pontos, but is not rewarded. So that means he doesn't have any skills to use. Oh, she's already on full cooldown. That's right.
Oh, man.
All right, it was just violence.
Oh, but exactly what we thought happens here, and Ciara misses that bomb all too often. Doesn't get the confirmed kill on the Masha either, but Juno should be alive to finish off the Masha.
Nice. The big damage is out of the way. Oh, but don't underestimate Acroma. She's really like throwing out some huge numbers here.
And this is exactly what we thought was going to be a problem for Truel here. It's like, how do you take down the Acroma when your biggest damage is going to be coming from a bomb that you can't actually land on top of Acroma with the Ciara? So you're looking at just additional damage trying to rip through. You needed that Juno to stay alive. You need the Ciara to stay alive to help deal with this Acroma, but Acroma's got such great damage. It's so well built. Ciara is not going to be lasting much longer.
Yeah, he's saving the Zabala skills. This Acroma is going to be a challenge. It's all going to rely on Zabala refreshing the Pontos to make sure that the Holy Ground is constantly up. That's ultimately what this is going to come down to.
Yep, does get that kill, nice additional damage or additional hits to get rid of the Water Ryu, not have to worry about that passive whatsoever. So it's going to be skill 1s for days now, especially from that water puppeteer. He's going to be healing off of skill 1, so you're going to want to make sure you're pumping those out here.
Oh, look at this Stoic. They're doing it. They're taking down the wall that is Acroma, and that's True Whale for a 2-1 win up against Zazas. He got revenge.
True Whale got his revenge. Yeah, he got his revenge on Zazas. That was kind of crazy. I really thought the Acroma was going to be able to hold on. I thought it was just built way too well, and the damage was, you know, only going up from here on. So you can't help but think like Acroma is going to be staying true and holding things off there, and that's not what happened.
Yeah, honestly, me too. I was expecting Acroma to really come in clutch there, but you know, I couldn't help but feel like I wish that was a Camilla. You know, and there's a weird point where I was like, oh, I kind of wish
I know.
Just so funny to say.
We had seen the triple Valkyrie coming from him before.
Yeah, exactly. We need that triple Valk draft. Let's check out the highlights from that set that we just watched.
Yeah, so here's that first match here, where we get to see that Nemesis tech coming from the Chloe, but the result of this match, in my opinion, is just having strips for days. So it's like, it doesn't matter what your opponent's doing. You've got stuns, attack bar pushback, and strips all over the place. That's like everything Truewell's draft was going to be doing here. I think all 4 units offer strips and strips and stuns, minus of course Chung Pung providing stuns, but he's providing even more defense breaking glancing. It was just a very, very well-rounded team for Truewell here, and this is where things definitely went to the other side of things, where we got to see some nice tech coming in handy here for Zazas, where he brought his what we now know as double nemesis Chloe, and the despair Sekhmet coming in handy, and Escher as well, boosting up his team. So even stopping what we thought was the very fast Moonsa, where we watched, Truewell get turn 1, but it didn't matter when Escher was able to turn things around like that.
Oh, and the despair Sekhmet was such a cute showing there in the last round. I really like to see that. I wanted to see if the Wunsa missed the attack bar push, because we saw the Eshir jump in between and boost up the Etna in that last game too. And obviously this is the game that we just watched, where Chroma, unfortunately for Zazas, could not pull through against the unrelenting force that is a skill 1 only Zabala and Apontos.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we saw an early 2.6k and then a 4.2k coming from the Zabala first skill, so that's a lot of damage there to tick down on an Akroma, where, HP isn't that main stat. You're looking for a lot of damage, but you do have a lot of HP on the Akroma, so it's still a very tanky unit, but it has to provide damage at the same time, so it ended up not being enough there. Like you said, maybe a Camilla could have been a better option, but I mean, look at this finals that we have there. It's Jeff Baldau versus Truewell.
Yeah, so that means that we've got a 3rd and 4th place game between Big V and Zazas to look forward to as well. And then a huge finals between those 2 competitors right there. There it is, the 3rd and 4th tiebreaker, Big V versus Zazas. That's the last point of business that we need to take care of before we proceed on to the finals.
I think that's what we do next, is it not? I think we jump down and we do a Big V versus Zazas, and then we come back up to a Jeff Baldau Truewell.
You're exactly correct, Stoic. That's exactly where we're going. We're going to Big V versus Zazas.
Hold on, I'm watching this Lucian. I am getting winked at. I knew it.
Wait,
I knew
are you?
He was getting winked.
Oh, you are. I am.
Look at that.
We are, Evan.
Again,
we
from
are.
the people who brought you the Lucian laugh and the Lucian thumbs up, it's the Lucian wink.
So flattering.
Yeah, so nice. Are we getting emoted on?
I feel like we're getting emoted on. Pre-bans, here we go. Oliver and Ragdoll is going to get pre-banned. Zazas does not want to see the Dactyl Kibby Lord Ragdoll combination at all.
No, he's over it. And I would be too, to be honest. That's such a crazy combo just in the pick ban phase. Purely HP lead with Ragdoll. I don't want to see that. I don't want to be within a mile of that.
Yep, there's that. Jognam getting prioritized by Big V as well. Zazas with the Chandra in Ethna.
I like the Chandra. I've gone on record talking about how significant the hug is. I think he's probably one of the most improved monsters as of late. I really wish I didn't feed mine, but he was just so bad before.
Yep. Well, Juno's coming back to the table here. I don't know if this is a Despair Sekhmet, but Sekhmet's here with a Ciara as well.
I miss Despair Sekhmet. Oh, monkey teasing me with the monkey. Bring the Olia Macaco. Bring it back.
Yeah, bring it back. Well, again, we're gonna have the Acroma. Maybe we wished we saw the Camilla here and not the Acroma. We'll see.
There's half of the Dekebi Lord and Ragdoll combo. It's also pretty solid here.
It is very solid here. I feel like a Fire Monkey King always feels so good.
He's one of my favorite units to play with, actually, and I find that he ages well into a game too, because of all the speed and attack that he's gaining, and the fact that if you rune him on high crit, it just feels like he's critting off element all the time. We only got one Smicer today, Stoic.
And we can't see the Smicer. I want to see the Smicer so bad. We love the Smicer, but let's see what happens here. We've got, I believe, a turn 1 Big V. I'm sorry, no, a turn 1 Zazas with this Ethna here.
Okay, and he goes for the skill 2. It's not super. It's a little bit greedy. It's a little greedy at times, you know. If you don't gain enough, you're not going to cut ahead, and Ciara ultimately does this to you.
Exactly. Big skill 2. It can go out onto, well, you know what? I think he just wants to take souls, and that's what these Jognam and Dr. Kibby Lord do with that second skill, man. They are just taking souls here.
Oh, you got to confirm it here, because it's unclear if the Chandra moves in. Because oh, and he does actually. So that means he could actually save it. That was actually this is a punish opportunity, because he actually really needed to. Oh, and instead he chooses not to. He's just going to let it pass away and put it on a chroma.
You know what? I actually think that even if it had the hug, it would still die because you can't receive damage, but you're receiving dot damage. I think the dot damage still ticks if you're under hug. I could be wrong, though. I feel like I can't remember the situation or seeing it myself.
That might be something. Honestly, that could be something you're right about. And that would be something I'd have more personal stake in if I hadn't fed my Chandra. If I had one.
Oh my god, Evan. Chandra's so good, Evan.
I'm so mad at myself. I can't believe I did that. But it was a very, very long time ago. I didn't know any better.
Yeah, same. I did a lot of terrible things before we can't feed dupes myself, but
yeah,
we'll see. Maybe I'll get them back
Poor
again.
Pungbake never had a chance. So just whittling down the Chandra. That's the name of the
still
game.
fed. If I could feed Pungbake again, I'd feed Pungbake every time.
Easiest feed of my life.
Oh, let's see where this bomb's going. Looks like the focus is still going to be on the Chandra. He's holding this bomb here. I think you actually swapped this defense break over to the... yes!
Oh,
there it
dude.
is. You definitely do
Look at
that. Because you're going to proc on that. That is wild. Big V getting his first victory over Zazas.
And Big V takes that first game to go. Look at that. And now sitting at match point against Zazas.
Yep. You got the Ragdoll and the Oliver coming back in here. So is Zazas banning out the Ragdoll? I feel like he doesn't want to see that combination. And Big V might be reading into that. Maybe he brings back that Dactyl Kibulord with the Ragdoll again. I think we do see Waterdo Kibulord being drafted by Big V. I feel like this is a super solid unit. It's great for his comp. He's playing really well with it. No! He doesn't want to see the team at all. That is so funny. It's in the other half. It's going to be in the pre-ban.
Those are two of the monsters I want to see most right now, too. So selfishly, I'm very bummed about these pre-bans, to be honest. Like, Smeister, I find just to be such an entertaining watch.
Yeah, Smeister be smicing, man, and Smeister can't smice if Smeister doesn't make it through.
Oh, Layla.
What is happening
Where
here?
has this been hiding?
I know. This is interesting to see a Layla and a Masha pick here. We should see the Tomoe coming into the draft as well. Or even the Zima, bring out the Zima or the Tomo. One of those are a great option to bring on. But it looks like Zayz is going to read into a little bit. We're going to see a Miles hit the field here. I wouldn't mind seeing the Miles Raccoon combination, if that's what's going to happen.
That would be cool. That would be neat. Here we go. These are good pairings with Layla still. I know that Tomoe is traditionally really well paired with her, but could be in the 5th pick, and this is also good, you know?
Yeah, let's see what he chooses. He does choose to lock that in here. Zayas going to be responding after seeing that. Josephine keeps getting the ban. We know this is a very, very good unit. Josephine has kind of taken on a role as a bit of a Luxac unit, being able to, you know, proc, keep that stun up, keeping the passive up, and take advantage of, you know, stuns on the other side of the field where we have Chandra and we have Layla who can stun, and of course the Ethna as well.
Oh, and the auto crits. Building a full crit damage Josephine
is great. Drafting a Leo here with the Verd already presented is actually kind of funny, but it does hinder the Miles. And actually the Miles.
Yeah. He's looking at just stopping the Miles, and this is potentially saying he's banning out the Vertiheal. Because if you're Zazas and you're drafting the Vertiheal, you like the Leo. And you're also understanding that your Miles is not going to be doing any damage. And it looks like he really needs his Miles to do damage. So he is going to be banning out that Leo. But then, you know, Big V, I guess, kind of knew he was going to ban out that Leo. So he bans out that Vertiheal. Because you're in rough shape, man. If you have a Leo on the field and you have the Vertiheal, like Vertiheal is going to be taking turns on you. It's crazy.
Pretty classic. Nice. Skill 2 into skill 3 works effectively here. Does equip the Miles with a shield and boost up the Josephine, but there's not too much that can be done. Tries to go for the provoke on Masha and is not rewarded. Here comes Layla to apply the buff block. Gets a nice stun on Josephine while her skill is on cooldown too.
Definitely going with that Curse of the Beautiful, getting the Despair Stun on the perfect units here. Layla's going to be down. Masha's going to be down as well. We have Attack Bar to be manipulated by Oliver. Looks like he's going to be staying on top of that Ethna.
Yes, sir. Chandra, he's debating between hugging a unit, and he does want to keep Ethna around for a little bit longer. I agree with that. Big skill 3.
Yeah, another Despair Stun going out here. Yep, keeping down this Sekhmet. Miles is going to get dropped. That's a very, very big unit, an important unit for Big V to be taking out here. Defense break sitting on top of this field. Definitely not looking good. Big V gets the 2-0 on Zazas.
Oh, I feel like I blinked and that one was over, Stoic. Big V with a clean 2-0.
Yep, definitely a very, very clean 2-0 here I can't even think of like what was the big stars there. I felt like just Zazas was not able to get something going for him. I know he got some nice despair stuns from that Sekhmet, but honestly, I felt like Big V felt very, very comfortable throughout that match.
Yeah, he did. It didn't seem like he was under a whole lot of pressure, especially in that last one. That was really fun to watch, but man, it was fast.
I know, honestly, even the summit's been really fast. Our next match that we're getting into is the final, and I felt like that came so fast already. But here's the highlights of those matches that we just went through here. In the double Dokebi Lord, you know, being problematic for Zazas, not wanting to have to play against these unit. And you know, this is where wait, this isn't the match that I thought Akroma was going to solo at all, was it?
Yeah, that was the round previous, I believe. This whole set was just blistering speed, to be honest.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it just felt like it was very, very fast here. Oh, it was a 2-0. That's right. I forgot that it was a 2-0 here. I kept thinking about the Akroma on my mind. But yeah, this was very, very good plays for Big V. Zazas just not responding well to the drafts that Big V was drafting here.
Yeah,
it was definitely in Big V's favor, but like, man, scooping right when your Oliver's about to go, I wouldn't have done that. I would have tried to see if I could get a couple procs in there and just kind of do some shenanigans or something. I think that's kind of why it felt so fast to me, but like, the writing was on the wall. The writing was definitely on the wall to his credit, to Zazas' credit. The only thing is that usually in a tournament setting, you want to play that out a little bit. And there we go. We got our leaderboard populated with 2 more names here, Stoic. We got Big V and Zazas added to the list.
Yep, a lot of points for Big V. Honestly, you look at this right now, with Big V getting 6 points here and the 2 points that Thompson has, Big V and Thompson are both tied up when the leaderboard's said and done. That's quite interesting to see that. So it's like, this is what we said. Big V missed month number 1, came in for month number 2, and here he is. So this is why it's so important that everybody still plays and still tries to compete and make their way to these monthly trials, because like, it's not over at all for either of these players.
No, definitely not. The finals, we're going right in. We can't be stopped. Jeff Boladão versus True Whale. Here we go, guys. I'm excited. Vai Brasil.
Yeah, there's a lot of things that Jeff has to worry about in this final match here, because we know True Whale, we know what he's got, we know, you know, he's so tough to have to draft up against here. But, you know, Jeff Boladão, he's playing his matches. He's here. We've seen a lot of the same stuff coming from him, the Chandra, the Veladrul. We know that's there, and I'm sure that True Whale's been paying attention. He knows those units are there. So we'll see what happens, because I think we need something more of like that Zazas realm, where he was bringing in some techie stuff, you know, surprising with the Despair Sekhmet, surprising with the Double Nem Chloe. I know it didn't work. It worked. It had its moments with True Whale before, but I feel like that's what we need. We need those surprises that make you think and make you second guess.
Yeah, and the biggest thing that Jeff also needs to do is just maintain composure, be calm, know that you can kind of take this, you know what I mean? He's done such a stellar job all through here, taking your advice into account and then just maintaining that composure. I think that's going to go a long way, knowing that he can do this. And drafting Veladrul is always great. You know, I dressed up as Veladrul twice in my Summoner's War career.
It's a cool thing to dress up as, for sure.
Still haven't summoned one.
Great pre-bans here. I love that the Oliver and the Tian Lang are the pre-bans. I think those are amazing things for Jeff to be... Oh, well, the Tian Lang for Jeff to be pre-banning, for sure. Now, True Whale took this draft here. We'd seen it before the Kiara and this Dak Robo, so we know how much damage the Kiara will kill. The Kiara will kill whatever it hits, and that's something that Jeff's got to keep in mind here, that he's potentially losing a unit to the Kiara.
Yeah, exactly. And this is a fun control cleave that True Whale's presenting. And let's see how Jeff Boladão wants to deal with it. I love these picks, and like we mentioned, we love the Chloe, the double Nem, or presumably double Nem Chloe, and lastly the fast as heck Wunsa.
Yeah, I feel like that was 100% a double Nem Chloe. I think that was tech. That might have been something that, since they were playing in that Latin American bracket, that maybe, you know, you saw that and you're like, oh, I think I should have one of those too. But the sad thing is True Whale's already seen it. You know, he dealt with that with Zazas, so obviously he's not going to fall for that same kind of tech here. But hey, I think it's great, and I think it's something that's solid to have, and it even soaked up the ban.
Oh, the ignore defense, the boost from Zibala. That was exactly as True Whale planned it. That's a combo that's kind of been seen in the meta lately with Zibala comboing. Normally you see it with something like a Chandra or anything that can also strip is also great with that. But boosting up for an ignore defense kill.
pretty stellar.
Yep, I'm a big fan of that Zabala Kiara combination. I feel like Jeff doesn't fall for that going into the next match because that's so good to be able to snipe something out that quick. It's kind of like drafting the a Talasha and in a one-shot Talasha Ragdoll, you know what I mean? Stuff like that. And that was quite nice. It was very beneficial to your team to be able to eliminate something like that. Because the next time Kiara goes, you get the attack buff indoor, which can be really nice. But we had 2 strip opportunities here, so kind of nice that Jeff Bloodell had that. But still, he was down a unit very, very quick into this match.
Yeah, and also, wait, I can't help but notice that, like, if he finds a way to take down the Ciara, he actually, there is game to be had here, actually.
Yeah, for sure. Ciara is definitely going to be a problematic unit for Jeff to have to deal with. But I do think True is going to be kind of safe right now because, I mean, that's a beautiful Despair Stun. He needed to get that because you don't want to see the second skill pop up from the Dark Robo to stop you from doing whatever. He's going to be setting this bomb off here, reducing the attack bars, of course. So much damage, but we do have additional damage.
That was the thing, though, right? Because Ciara is the threat here because of the detonation. So, and now that he doesn't have any debuffs on, he's likely not going to get another rotation out. So this is definitely looking like it's over for Jeff.
Oh, that was interesting that he chose to do that instead of trying to heal up. But I think if he used first skill and healed, it doesn't matter because he's going to be getting that kill here anyways. So good on True Whale. I love the combination. I feel like that was a highlight right there when you watch the Zabala going into the Kiara. Like, that was very, very techie for True Whale here.
Absolutely. That's a fun combo that people have kind of been adopting, right? Because Zabala's got a pretty fast base speed, so you ruin him up to be really fast, and in a weird way, you're kind of ruining another monster to be the first one to be on your to move first. It's great.
Yeah, exactly. You know, maybe even I might think about something like that. I'm a big fan of that. That Zabala. Like, I'm keeping that in mind. I'm setting that aside to, you know, maybe potentially doing something in my own realm for like that.
Could be a
but
fun
I
way
don't
to
have the
build it.
Kiara. Yes, yeah, definitely. But I feel like that Kiara is kind of like the perfect unit to time with that because you have that second skill, or I'm sorry, that third skill that offers attack buff with the Endure effect. If you're even trying to like capitalize on their build up to potentially taking something out too.
I'd like to see you explore that option for your team. I like that. True Whale bringing the Carnal, the Fire M Bison, onto his comp too. Still continuing with that sort of control lineup that he's been presenting before. Jeff returning to potentially multiple Valks here. How many Valks are we getting?
I mean, I don't think he has the Acroma, nor would he want to draft a Trinity. This is the first time we've seen a Connell go into a draft here, so True Will, you know, busting out the Fire and Bison. There's nothing wrong with the Fire and Bison. It's just a lot of the people in the meta units have kind of turned away from drafting it in that playstyle here. But I think Veladril is a bit of a problem. I think Camilla's a bit of a problem as well. But then I look at True Will's side of the field and I'm like, Raccooni's a problem. You know, it's that awful dance
is
that you have
definitely
to
a
deal
problem. It's so funny, right? Giving so much respect to a 3-star unit even now, but Raccooni is absolutely the problem,
Yep.
and he soaks the ban.
So funny to see that
With
here.
the next
but I will
two
say,
LD5s.
Veramos is so good. Veramos is very, very good right now. I feel like Veramos is fitting the role to deal with the Fire and Bison and the Volantis. You know, you can't have a bomb sit on the field here with the Veramos out here. So getting rid of Ciara is going to be a bit of a priority for Jeff Baladao, and it looks like that's exactly what's going to be happening. He's going right onto that Ciara. But of course, we're going to get the additional damage rolling out for Laura. Laura looking to, you know, set the field, set the tone for True Will.
Goes for the stun on Veramos. He can't cleanse that. And Bison's going to see if he can reduce attack bar and apply stun. Those are the two things that Veramos hates, by the way. Crowd control, hard crowd control like stuns, and attack bar reduction.
Oof, getting that slow, getting that freeze on top of the Volantis, really nice. He wants to keep up his immunity for as long as possible. He knows the Laura doesn't have her skill 3 strip. She had just used it. So I believe that Volantis does have that strip available here. We got nice stuns coming out here. You know, Jeff's doing a great job trying to get rid of this Ciara. It must happen.
He is, man, and it's looking like Veladril might actually be one of the best monsters on the team again. Just saying.
Yeah, Veladril super, super good for Jeff Baladao. So probably something True Will is probably going to acknowledge. He's going to do something about this as we go into match number 3, because I think Jeff Baladao totally wins this match.
2 kills to Dots, by the way. If we got one more turn, we would have gotten 2 back-to-back kills from Dot damage. Well clutched by Jeff. Nice comp. He seemed very comfortable playing up against that non-cleave style of control. I think it's the cleave part that might throw things into a little bit of a mess.
Yeah, for sure. I think Tian Lang makes his way back into the pre-ban. Again, I don't think you let that unit through. Jeff Bladell still, bringing things in there that involves him gaining attack bar. He doesn't want that to be interrupted. So I think Tian Lang is going to eat up the pre-ban again.
I think that's a good call.
Yeah, and the Raccoon ban, again, by the way, was really solid. Oh, Dark Robo and Etna? I didn't see those coming.
No, I didn't, because they share an Ethna. Both players have taken an Ethna into their drafts in the past. Dark Robo is a very, very interesting choice here for Jeff Bladell. Maybe he was just like, have a bit of an understanding of what True Will might pivot into. But Ciara Zabala, this still is a problem. You have to worry about stuff being off will when you have with Zabala taking turn 1 and potentially going into a Ciara to prepare a bomb up here. Yeah, we'll see what happens here. Jeff looks like he's going to tank up, bruiser up. He's got the Vanessa. He's offering a 33 speed lead. But usually when you see him go into a Camilla after that, you'll see a very turn 2 style of play.
All right. Oh, and there's the Veladjul back again.
Yep, Veladjul is back, something that he does like to draft. I'm actually surprised we didn't see the Tian Lang drop in here. I felt like Tian Lang is definitely a fine unit for True Will to bring in, but I guess Tian Lang would kind of destroy what Zabal is trying to do too.
Okay, and the Hey Gang is a great answer
To this right now with all those strips from the Moor and the Chung Pong.
Definitely, we love the Hey Gang. Hey Gang, very, very good for Jeff. I think he needs something threat. We need to see another Bruiser. A Fire Monkey King, I think, is totally fine. Masha, if that's what he wants to bring. I know we already have 2 water units out there. That's interesting that he's going to come out with that, because I feel like we needed to see more damage.
Yeah, a little more damage would be great. Let's see what True Will wants to pick to round out this draft. This is a big one. This is a big game. Oh, O'Reilly.
Yeah, we're going free to play. Yeah, we're going free to play with True Will. All LD Nat 5s under the sun, and we're taking on O'Reilly because there's a lot of AoE. Well, at least there's 2 AoE units in here: the Hey Gang and the Win Robo. And you know what? Riley eats the ban up too.
Isn't that so funny? Like, we saw Raccoony soak the ban last time, and we saw Varamos be a star in the last game too. Like, it's just great. We're in a really good state with the free to play units right now.
The free-to-play meta, or at least the free-to-play units that are meta, are very, very good. And I think that's something great for the community.
We haven't even mentioned Gapsu.
Yeah. Yep, another one.
Oh, we see the same boost from before, by the way, with Zabala, this time targeting Ciara. And locks down the Veladjul, but we know he loves to proc, baby. This is exactly the kind of situation the Veladjul likes to proc out of and apply skill 3.
I'm surprised he let that through. I felt like he's got AoEs coming in right here, and that should do away with the I'm sorry.
I thought that was Veladjul. It's Vanessa. They look so similar with that skin from the back, don't they?
Yeah, it's the transmog with the big
That's
wings.
That's my bad. I totally thought that was the Veladjul. That's so funny. Never encountered that before.
Coming out here. We're looking for some additional turns from Camilla. Not going to be happening. Can we set up a defense break to do something here? Hey Gang, definitely looking a little low.
He is. Oh, and the 100% strip, by the way. I know that Hey Gang's going to boost people up.
When?
Dude, Chung Pungs have been having a pretty consistent strip chance today.
I know. Like, this is not a normal thing, watching Chung Pung be consistent. Like, same thing with Water Ryu. I feel like Water Ryu's had a really good performance today as well, and he's also known not to be very consistent, too.
Oh, this is looking pretty clean for True Whale right now. Can boost up
Look
the
at that,
CR.
boosting up the CR. You got a frozen. Oh, okay. It doesn't really matter if you're not going to land.
It's not that
Gets
great,
the additional turn. Yeah, honestly, I felt like you still go with the skill 3, but we didn't get a violent proc coming from that Veladjul. But looking super good for True Whale right now. Gets the attack bar reduction, lots of additional damage. Gets a first skill, able to heal up. So looking super good with Ciara.
And here's the pop
right there.
Pop goes the Camilla.
Holy cow. True Whale. Honestly, it was a flawless performance coming out of him. Like, he performed great. Jeff Bladell took a great win away from True Whale, which is excellent to see here. But True Whale, with his wins that he got there, were just so very clear when he won those matches.
Oh, absolutely. Well done, True Whale, with the number 1. And congrats to Jeff as well for getting the number 2 slot. Again, guys, this is all about those summoner points. You're just trying to gain as many as possible, so that way they carry over in leading up to the finals in May. So both these players did great. In fact, everybody here today did a great job. Here are the highlights from the game we just saw. This is the first one that True Whale picked, that hybrid control cleave.
Yeah, we loved that with the Zabala into the Kiara. It's such a great thing to see. So it was very techie there. I was a big fan of that coming from True Whale. Well, not very techie, but it was very, very nice. It was a nice combination that he threw down there. But then also like Zabala CR, like I'm a big fan. I feel like CR might change how I am drafting, especially right now, and go Zabala CR myself. I really, really like these combinations between each other. Maybe add a little bit more damage on my CR.
That would be a really cool thing for you to incorporate onto your draft. I'm loving the Zabala combo. I think it works in a lot of different scenarios. I've seen people use it with Chandra, with Ciara, with a snipe unit like Kiara, anything. I think Zabala is a very flexible starter nowadays.
Yep, for sure. With Cassandra too. Cassandra being out in the field here, as a unit to help eliminate stuff as well. So super good there. There was the match that Jeff was able to win here. We got that beautiful proc, and that proc from Village was kind of what sealed the deal for True Whale. If you watch a lot of True Whale matches, True Whale actually concedes a lot of matches to understanding where it's like, yeah, I don't come back to this, and doesn't even waste his time. I feel like when it comes to True Whale, time is money. And we know him for having so many things, and I have a feeling he's the kind of person that doesn't have a lot of time. We know he's a very busy man, and he concedes a lot of his matches, and we can tell that these things are over already.
He's got to wrap this up ASAP. That's basically how he handles these games. That second round from Jeff looked really good, though, I have to say. He looked like he was in his element playing against that sort of just standard control comp with no snipe threat. So, again, great show from Jeff and everybody involved, and congratulations to True Whale.
Yep, definitely something to keep in mind. It was like not just a great showing from Jeff that he ended up accumulating more points than Zazas here, but Zazas, he did come back. He was in month number 1, so Zazas has a lot of points. He may even be our point leader. No, I'm sorry, True Whale's probably the new point leader here. But we'll find out in a minute when they throw it all together. But Zazas having a lot of points, True Whale having a lot of points. Both those people are returning. But Jeff Baladao got a ton of points today, which is great because now he put himself up there very, very high in position for making his way to the final that we're going to be having in May.
Oh, that would be so awesome for Jeff. He's still got another month ahead of him, though. A lot of people, there's one more monthly trial in between us and the finals, which means it's a great time to tell you guys the finals are happening on May 18th, and it's a 2-day event. The very first 2-day Summoners War event in history. It's going to be May 18th and 19th in Los Angeles. So save the date, but save both dates, because again, it's a 2-day event. The first will be playing the America's Summit Finals, and the second will just be hanging out together.
I feel like that's so crazy to hear that a 2-day event. We've never had a 2-day event, Evan, before. Like this is the first time. So like leading up to this it's even more important that people like really look into the time, because like a lot of people will take their time off from work or do whatever they can to make it to an event, and they know it's just for one day. Like I hear stories of people like, I drove up for the event just for the one day, and then they'll start driving home like right after the event. But like it's not like that. This is the first time we've ever had a 2-day event, Evan. So people really have to plan ahead, and this is something you don't want to miss out. That's kind of crazy. We've never had that before, ever. Where we had one day Summoners War event, and then we go into another. Like tomorrow's the next day. Like
it's
that's
so
cool.
The
first time.
It's going to be all the Summoners War that you could stand for the weekend and more. It's going to be great. So you better be there. I'll be there. Stoic's going to be there. It's going to be a fun time. And I love that in the graphic, by the way, this is so tangential to what we're even talking about. I love that Raccoony was getting like bullied on the side by Orion. Raccoony always gets the short end of the stick whenever it comes to like cinematics or like graphics, anything. Poor guy.
Raccoony just can't catch a break no matter what. From getting fed on the summoning hedge to getting pushed around by an Orion. Ridiculous.
Air of all things. Oh my god. Look at this, guys. The leaderboard fully populated after today. We now have 1st through 8th place on the board. True Whale taking home the lion's share of the points available for today. 8. And then we got Jeff with 7, all the way down the list to Ray with the 1. Here we go. Look at that.
Yeah.
And so
Keep
now
in mind
I think
this is just today right here. So True Whale, Big V, Jeff Blood out, Big V, Zazas, Rhino, and everyone, so on and so forth. But right here, this is the overall. So this is how things are looking right now. So we have our leaderboard from here out, and this is where we're standing now with True Will, Zazas, and Topa V. Guys, Topa V wasn't here today. He was here in the first month, and he's sitting here at third. That's still crazy to me.
That's the brilliant part about the tournament, is that like there's multiple chances for you to like make an impact here, right? And again, so this is the culmination of the 2 monthly trials that we've had so far, right? For February and March, and now we've still got one in April to look forward to. So these numbers could change, but right now these are our point leaders with True Whale in the lead all the way down to the bottom. So there's a lot going on, and a lot can still change. We could see new people, we could see point totals change in April as well. So make sure that you follow everything regarding the Americas Summit on our social media pages. I'll be sure to keep things updated for you on the Fuse as well.
Yep, looking forward to it. This has been an incredible tournament, dude. It's been so much fun. Summit's been such an awesome experience.
Awesome. Yeah, this was such a fun experience. It went fast, man. Those last couple games just blew by. I loved it. I hope chat enjoyed it. Again, if you enjoyed this sort of thing, you can look forward to another one at the end of April as well. Point totals can change. Mark your calendars. Save the dates for those 2-day events. May 18th and May 19th. It's going to be a full weekend of Summoner's War. Guys, it's been so much fun. Thank you, Stoic. It's always a blast commentating these things with you, dude. All right, guys. Have a great one. Thank you all for watching. Bye-bye.